trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? 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 Why we always looking for Been trying to change
A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 5. It's race day at the Nürburgring. And after what was a very, very exciting top 10 shootout qualifying session last Friday, we find ourselves now in the race mode, I should say. We are at the Nürburgring, the GP layout for round 5 of the AGT ACC Season 3, our premier championship here at AGT, and I am very much looking forward to this one. I, of course, am your host, lead commentator, Isaac Fogarty. It's a pleasure to have your company. At the moment, I am here all by myself. Hopefully, John Wright not too far away from jumping in the booth with me. But for now, you have the pleasure of my company. And I hope you're all doing well on this fabulous Friday evening or Friday morning, wherever you're watching from right around the world. The time zones certainly will vary, but it's a lovely 7:25 here in New South Wales, where I currently am. Now, let's remind ourselves at what that grid looks like. This is the results from last Friday's qualifying session, and Josh Struick lines up on pole position alongside Matt Simmons, 2 Porsches on the front row. And it's Matt Donetti and Adam Elzine will share the second row of the grid for BCG1 and Pinnacle Motorsports. Then Braden Henderson and Aidan Holton, Mark Hurley, Nathan Hutton, Michael Toward, Bowen Piper as well up there, Riley Nicholson and Bruce Quadrell coming in for James Barton. So he'll jump behind the wheel of that Highland Motorsport Nissan GTR, start from P12 today. Then it's Sargent and Wood on row number 7. Max Honeybun and Xander Stewart sharing the 8th row of the grid. With, after qualifying 17th, Max, Andre Sheppers will actually jump back a spot and start from the back of the field. Also, no Bob Norley yet so far this evening, so we're yet to see Bob Norley enter the grid. Then it's Felix Preslin and Ben Sayers in 17th and 18th on the 9th row of the grid. Then Rowan Green and Wayne Tanner rounding out your top 20. Les Sandwith and Guy Farmer and Andre Sheppers back in 23rd. So Les Sandwith, Guy Farmer not setting a time in qualifying last week, not making an appearance. So they start from the back of the grid this evening. Let's remind ourselves of where we are. That's the calendar. Let's find all my buttons. Remind ourselves of where we are. It's a Nürburgring. 5.1 kilometers of tarmac, 15 corners, a medium tyre wear, although I'm up for debate on whether that's exactly accurate or not. With 120 minutes or 2 hours, our race time this evening, with a requirement of 2 stops throughout that time. Let's have a look at our driver standings as well. A reminder, Josh Struick with an 18-point lead coming into this one over Matt Donetti. No Simon Bishop this evening, so he'll probably lose a couple spots here. Aidan Holton looks to jump up to 3rd in the championship unless Braden Henderson has something to say about that. Max Silva, a no-show as well this evening. Hopefully he's tuning in. We wish him all the best. Hopefully we see him back on the grid very soon. Matt Simmons starts on the front row from 7th, so a great opportunity for him to get some spots in the championship tonight as well. Bowen Piper leads the Pro-Am class, and both his closest rivals in Josh Gordon and James Barton will not make an appearance this evening, so a chance for him to extend that lead over the likes of Mick Toward, Mark Hurley, Riley Nicholson and Rowan Green inside that top 7. The team's championship, it's BCG at the top, but that could change this evening with one BCG driver missing. CP Motorsports can capitalize on the double points on offer here tonight to take command of this team's championship. Team XV Primer with Ben Sayers and Braden Henderson as well sitting in 3rd place. They could capitalize as well this evening with some good points if they can time it well. TTR Westside sits in 4th position. And then it's BCG 3, Highland Motorsport 1, Defy Motorsports 2, which could jump their counterpart tonight if Bowen Piper can outscore Max Honeybun by what looks to be about 50 points or more. TTR Eastside and then Highland Motorsport 2 rounding out those top 10 on points. Now, it was a pretty quick preparation this evening. We apologise for the rush, but the cars are now on their formation lap. A bit of an earlier start this evening due to the fact that we have got 2 hours of racing to go. So let's jump down to the field. Here we are then, and it is time to go racing. We are on the formation lap now. And look, Josh Struick, man, he has been untouchable this season, hasn't he? We haven't seen too much out of him in terms of race pace. Well, I mean, I say that. He really showed dominance in Watkins Glen last time out, but before that, we hadn't really seen a race win from him since all the way back in round 1. So he returned to form last time out at Watkins Glen, and now he has the chance to repeat that this evening over a 2-hour period. So a long time for these drivers to get used to running around this circuit. Big opportunity for some gains tonight. G'day, Ferbs, in the chat. Thanks for the good luck. Hopefully we see you back on track soon, Ferbs. We miss seeing you out there rolling around. Hopefully we'll see you back very soon. I'm just checking in on my counterpart. make sure that he is with us soon. We're about to get a race start here, folks. The formation lap is continuing. Josh Gordon in the chat as well. G'day, Josh. Hopefully we'll see you back out there for the next round as well. Shame that's not able to be here this evening, but still a fair way to go in this championship. Now, let's talk about this front group of cars. Josh Struick, Matt Simmons, as I'm looking at a nice shot of a curb here as they all roll through. The ACC cameras really know how to put on a show, don't they? Matt Donetti, our reigning champion. What can he do in that Audi starting from third? Feels a little bit boxed in with the Porsches around him. He's got 2 in front of him, 1 behind him. And then a Mercedes in Braden Henderson. And then Aidan Holton, the other CP Motorsports Porsche, sitting in 6th place. Mark Hurley in 7th. He's the lead Pro-Am car. Remember, there's money up for grabs this evening as well. There was money up for grabs for pole position last week, which went to Josh Struick and Mark Hurley. There's another $100 up for the overall victor tonight and $50 for the Pro-Am driver, provided they aren't the overall victor. So whoever finishes on top in the Pro-Am has another $50 coming their way. Can Mark Hurley convert that pole to the win? Can Josh Struick convert that pole to a win? We're going to find out very, very soon as we get set to go here at the Nürburgring for your Friday night action. Friday night GT3 action at that. Through the final screen. They're 2x2 now, formed up, ready to go. Drink of water to get the vocal cords warmed up for what is set to be a very exciting couple of hours. 24 cars on the grid for this one. 23 cars on the grid for this one. And Josh Struick will lead them away around the final corner now. They will be under starters orders very, very shortly. And when they cross that start-finish line, they will get permission to go. It's 2 hours of action at the Nürburgring. 2 pit stops required. Who will be king of the ring? Not quite king of the ring, but we have a green flag and we are away. And it's Josh Struick and Matt Simmons off to a fairly even start. Braden Henderson searching for track position already as they run down towards turn 1 for the first time. Make sure they get through here nice and cleanly. We've got a car off in the background. That's a Nissan GTR. That'll be Bruce Quadrell. And that's, we've got multiple cars involved here. Heavy contact early on. And everyone's all over the place at the start of this, but everyone seems to have gotten through okay. Matt Donetti loses out at the start, though, getting his ears boxed off the start. And it is out in front. Matt Simmons leading this race over Josh Struick. So a great start for the man on the front row of the grid. He was quickest in every single session except the top 10 shooter. And that's come back now to be a benefit for him off the line. And I think everyone else is through okay. There is Matt Donetti. It says he's in 3rd, but he very much is not, unfortunately. He is right down the order and has some work to do in that Audi. Adam Elzine as well, off to a fairly clean start. I believe he's up into 3rd. He is in a sandwich. There's a damage to quite a number of cars. We'll get the order now updated as they roll on through. A great start for Nathan Hutton, who's up into P5. And unfortunately for Matt Donetti, the trend of getting his ears boxed at turn 1 at Nürburgring. It happened in season 1. It happened when we came here for the Nordschleife in season 2. And now in season 3, it's happened once again. And that's unfortunate for the reigning champion. He sits at the back end of the top 10 with a fair amount of work to do to gain some places here. Riley Nicholson goes wide. Pretty much opens the door for him to go through there. But Matt Simmons will lead this race over Josh Struick from Adam Elzine in 3rd, and then Aidan Holton in position number 4. Nathan Hutton up into 5th. There's a bit of smoke going on up ahead. That's just dust from the cars as they run over the curb, pushing the track limits at the start. Right, this is a 2-hour race. You don't want to abuse those track limits too early, folks, because that can certainly cause some headaches for you later on. Matt Donetti right in behind Braden Henderson, who's going for a move here, actually. I thought he was going for a move on Nathan Hutton, but Nathan Hutton's just been overtaken by Mark Hurley, who's run wide. So Mark Hurley off the circuit. He's going to lose a handful of places there. Sent it too deep into turn 1. We've got a car around as well. That's Peter Sargent with the yellow flags. There's another car involved with that as well in Bruce Quadrell. So multiple cars involved off the start here. Big issues for a number of drivers, and it is absolute chaos. This is a 2-hour race, so you don't want to cause yourself too many headaches early on, but unfortunately, a couple of drivers finding themselves victims of some incidents at the early stages. As we check in now with the front of the field. This is Nathan Hutton, Aidan Holton, still in fourth, Adam Elzine, Josh Struick and Matt Simmons. But Matt Simmons is being reeled in by Josh Struick here. So we got off to an electric start at the front of the field. But Josh Struick has just had a better second phase in this race start, as it were. Tyres are coming up to temperature nicely for him. And I'd love if we could get some wider shots like this. This would be absolutely lovely if we could stick with the wide shots like this, because the close-up shots don't really provide us with too much to go on. But we are doing the best that we can, folks. Still waiting on John Wright. Hopefully we'll see him soon. And Josh Struick sitting in behind about half a second. Looks to be stronger in the last sector, Matt Simmons. He's pulling away ever so slightly there. So a good last sector for our race leader. Braden Henderson, Martinetti up to 6th place now. So working his way back through the field, but still works doing a question mark of how much damage is on that car. Plenty of time in this race though. Adam Elzine goes fastest, does the fastest lap of the race so far. Albeit we are only just completing lap 2. When we look further afield, there is damage to the back of the Peter Sargent car for his quadrille as well. Also carrying some damage in that Nissan GTR. He's got Les Sandwith right in behind him. Ben Sayers 18th place at this stage as well. Rowan Green just in behind him. Wayne Tanner's on a flyer at the moment. I believe started 20th in this race, up to 16th already. So he is absolutely flying right now in that Ford Mustang. Had brake pedal issues last week in qualifying, which was why he qualified where he did. Felt like he certainly could have shown his true colours throughout that session if he was able to have a proper brake pedal, and had that issue fixed. Is good to go now and is showing that pace early here, being up to 16th. So already 4 spots gained in this race so far. Xander Stewart also driving well in that McLaren. That'll be a good one for George Cook if he's watching on. Loving the McLaren action. Daniel Wood in 12th place. And the last of the pro cars was not the qualifying session he would have wanted last Friday. Definitely felt like he could get more out of the car, and hopefully he can achieve that today. It's these curbs. You can see there across the curbs. The curbs are bringing a lot of drivers undone. It brought this man undone in Bowen Piper in that shootout, and unfortunately invalidated his lap after using a little bit too much curb. But now is well and truly in the contention for a good result here tonight if he can keep going. Mark Hurley is ahead of him though, a key rival in that championship. Rowan Nicholson also inside that top 10. Matt Simmons still leads this field from Josh Struick. We are only 5 minutes into this race, folks. It's going to be a long night if I have to do this by myself. Hopefully I will not have to, but we'll keep you informed as we get more information on just where John Wright is at. G'day to everybody that is watching along. Hope you're enjoying these opening few laps. It's certainly been action-packed, hasn't it? And Matt Simmons was able to capitalise. The person who was not able to capitalise is Martinetti. He's past Braden Henderson now, though, so there's been a positional swap there. Look at the damage to that Audi. That is super unfortunate. There's got to be a fair amount. If it's not affecting him too much, the question will be whether he fixes it or not. He feels like he has the pace, even with the damage. Can he get away without repairing it? I'd say the go will be, considering it's a 2-stop race, 2 hours to repair the damage, because the lap time that he gains from having no damage on that car will greatly outweigh the fact that he has to repair the damage in the pit lane. So it depends how long he has to sit there. Hopefully it's not too long. Now, I believe I do have someone in the booth alongside me now. It is Mr. John Wright. John, very good evening to you. It's been a chaotic start. There was a bit of contact at turn 1. Martinetti and Braden Henderson both caught up in that, but everyone seems to have got going now, and Matt Simmons leads this race over Josh Struick.
Yeah, good evening, folks. Apologies for the tardy arrival. I have come. I did listen to the start of the race. The usual chaos. Matt Dernetti, the curse strikes again. I don't know what he's done to annoy the Germans, but they do not like him running on their track for whatever reason. He just gets collected. That's what now, 3 times in a row. The poor so-and-so has found himself on the receiving end of a drop down the order right at the start of a race here at the Nürburgring. And a lot of work that he has got to do, but it looks like Struick and Simmons are doing exactly what the Porsches have done this season so far, taking fastest laps and taking the lead, Isaac. It's an impressive display by the two up at the top so far.
It's a very impressive display. If you look at the top four, ladies and gentlemen, it's all Porsches. We have 4 Porsches out tonight, and all 4 of them are at the front of this field. So they are absolutely showing that they are the dominant car at this circuit, and really across the course of this season, they have been the strongest car week in, week out. There's no real BMWs out there. There is the one BMW of Les Sandwich, but Bob Norley not making an appearance tonight, it does seem unfortunate considering he qualified upside inside the top 15, so he was looking for a strong result tonight. We won't see him out there. Looking a little bit further afield, so Braden Henderson not quite able to, or Mazzinetti I should say, not quite able to shake Braden Henderson. They're trying to reel in Aidan Holton, but it seems a little bit fruitless at the moment. Bowen Piper's sitting about half a second behind Rowan Nicholson, who in turn sitting half second behind Mark Hurley. It's a nice little battle shaping up at the front of this field for the Pro-Am overall lead. Although now Nathan Hutton has disappeared up the road a fair way, so it's a nice little battle for second as it turns out. Mark Hurley, Rowan Nicholson, Bowen Piper, there's not much separating them at the moment.
Yeah, not much separating them at all. It's a very tight, close group, and it's good to see the Pro-Ams having such an elongated battle here at the start, keeping themselves well in touch with one another. And a bit of a gap, and you actually see there, folks, the gap from 6 to 7, the difference between the Pros and the Pro-Ams. And this is really one of these courses like Spa where it does magnify, I don't want to say skill gap, but it is kind of a skill gap. I know, because I'm right down at the bottom of it, but certainly courses around here, and when you're battling as well, you're trying to find the defensive line while keeping the car behind, while keeping enough momentum. You don't want to open the door. It's a pressure cooker indeed, but the Pro-Ams putting on an absolute show. 7th down through to 11th, keeping very much in touch, although it does look like Toward has dropped off the back of this group ever so slightly. Oh no, he's still, yeah, so he's dropped off ever so slightly. That's Tanner that we're going to have a look at as well now, down in 16th place. So a solid group of the Pro-Ams, and it's been a good start for them as well. I mean, I saw that Aston Martin get caught up in a bit of an incident, but other than that, they've all been running very nicely indeed, and it's just the difference in manufacturers really that looks like it's keeping the cars separated. They've got an Aston leading the way in the Pro-Ams, and in a good mix right down through the field. Ferrari, Aston, although now I'm saying that a good mix, the Astons do look to be pretty dominant in that Pro-Am category, Isaac.
Well, they certainly do. There's a lot of Astons that feature in that Pro-Am category. Typically we have at least 6 to be exact in this Pro-Am category, and we have 3 of them tonight, and all 3 of them are at the pointy end of this field. So they are really showing what they can do in the Aston Martin. Bowen Piper, he's got a bit of work to do in that Ford Mustang. It's so difficult to get an overtake around here, especially in some of these cars. The Mustang, it's got great straight line speed, but there's not a lot of opportunity around here to utilise that. Maybe down the front straight into turn 1 if you can get a good exit off the final corner, and down through towards the final chicane, the NGK chicane. But I wouldn't say that's an overtaking spot, especially in a car like this. So it's really tricky to try and size up your opponent. There's a lot of biding your time and trying to find the right way to try and get past. And for Bowen Piper, he's going to have to do a lot of that this evening. It is a 2-hour race. We're only 12 minutes into it, so a very, very long way to go. And he's got plenty of time inside the top 10. It is double points. But the last thing you want to do is lose out key points on your rivals. And even though there's no Josh Gordon or James Barton here this evening, Mark Hurley is still a factor, and he's not too far behind in those championship points. So being a couple places ahead of Bowen Piper could help Mark Hurley get back into this championship equation.
It definitely could, like you say, double points for tonight, but but you need to finish to get those double points. Let's not forget that. So as you say, Isaac, definitely need to err on the side of caution a few times. Make sure you get to the end. You can't risk any risky overtakes. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Better to bring home double points a few positions down than not finish at all and bring home nothing. That will do your championship a lot more damage than it will finishing a few places down. I'm keeping an eye on this battle between Nicholson and Piper. It is looking good, but up in 3rd place at the moment. I can confirm that Halton for CP Motorsport is on a bit of a charge. He's got that gap down to 0.4 of a second. He is keeping Elzine very close in very close contact, but what that is doing is bringing an Audi into the Porsche mix. That would be one Matt Dernetti. He is now less than a second behind, and he's got Braden Henderson pulled along in his slipstream, the Audi and the Mercedes. Very much looking to rain on the Porsche parade today if they can. Dernetti, as we've said, not with the cleanest of starts. He's tumbled down the order, but he has got that car absolutely moving now, and down through Ad Van Bogen and up towards the aforementioned NGK chicane. Oh, look at the way they take those curves. Yeah, Dernetti's found another 0.2 of a second on that lap. So, as you were saying, Isaac, it is difficult to get an overtake round here if there's 2 cars involved. You throw a third car into the mix, like Dernetti chasing Halton and Elzine, and I'll tell you, Dernetti could find a way of unlocking the door for a double overtake, and if he can't find that, Henderson in that Mercedes could find himself with a cheeky triple overtake here, or a double, and then a single with the 2 cars battling ahead. Because I tell you what, Dernetti is on fire right now. He's just taken 0.2 on the previous lap, and he's taken 0.3 in the first corner. Yeah, that's quite the gain to be making through the Mercedes arena, and he is now in full hunter mode on the back of that Porsche, I would say.
He is absolutely in full hunter mode. It seems that Elzine's pace from being fastest car on track just a few laps ago has dropped off a fair bit, which has brought Hayden Halton into this. But as a result, as you said, it's super hard to do a 101 car overtake around here. But if you're Matt Dernetti, you're certainly not going to sit behind these guys for too long, and it's brought him into this equation. It's also brought Braden Henderson into the equation, although he drops just to over a second now off the back of this group. I think part of this as well will be tyre heat. So sitting in behind another car the way that you do, that can bring tyre temperature up, although it's not going to be a massive difference around here, but then again, it can play a factor. It's 32-degree track temperature at the moment, so slightly cooler than the temps we saw for qualifying last week. There was an adjustment made just to help maybe try and preserve tyre life ever so slightly, after concerns were raised from the driving cohort that there was a lot of tyre wear being used and a lot of tyre being used up just across a lap or two around here. And so the adjustments were made and was met with relatively positive feedback from the drivers, but as a result, it means you can push harder for longer. Except when you're behind another car, that's when it comes back to boss you. Oh. Where are we looking? Oh, right.
Yeah, we've got a battle going on. Yeah, we've got a 3-way battle going on. Shepherd's there taking himself off the road to avoid contact there with Honeybun. I've been watching this for a few corners now while I've been paying attention to the race up at the top. But certainly Stewart, it looks like he is holding good pace, but Shepherd's behind. It does look like he is being held up here at the minute. He is catching up to Max Honeybun, and as we saw, he almost took himself off the track. Honeybun taking a very different line through the final corner, and he's gone on the inside line, and it's going to be Shepherd sweeping to the outside line. I did say he looked like he was getting held up ever so slightly, but that Nissan GTR in a straight line says, not today, baby puppy. And that is Shepherd. No, he's going to go for it up the inside of turn number 1 and identify an overtaking opportunity identified by Isaac, and there we go, Isaac. The drivers have listened to it. They've heard that turn 1 was a potential overtaking opportunity, and Shepherd's has said, thank you very much, Isaac. I'm going to take myself 15th place.
Yeah, he certainly has. And reminder, this is the car that had a 10-place grid penalty as a result of the first lap incident at Watkins Glen. So it was a penalty that carried over. Typically, it would have been a rear grid start like we saw for Matt Dernetti. However, because we had the ability to set the grid here at the Nürburgring, the stewards deemed that we'd hand him a grid penalty, and he in fact dropped 10 places. Bruce Quadrell has retired from this race as well, so unfortunately for him in that Nissan GTR, there will be no points collected this evening. He's had a bit of a rough start to the race, was off the road on the outside of turn 1, and then as a result just kept falling backwards, got caught up in a couple more incidents, and now has elected to retire that car. Big moment for Andre Shepherd there. Caught the inside of the curb And that just unsettled the Mercedes ever so slightly. Donetti, what has happened to Matt Donetti?
He's nearly binned it there at the last corner. There's a battle going on ahead of him. Elzine and Halton are going absolutely toe-to-toe here. Donetti almost took himself off on the final curb there. He's maybe too busy watching the battle ahead, but these two Porsches, Isaac, and speaking of two Porsches, Struik and Simmons are getting into it as well. He's going for it up the inside line. Surely Elzine's not going to make this one stick. He's going for the cutback. And he's going to go around the outside, Isaac.
And typically we get the ACC really, really close-up camera angle of one specific car, so it's hard to see the battle, but look at them side by side right now. And Matt Donetti's going to invite himself to the party. Here we go. The Audi says, thank you very much, gents. I'll have a position if you don't mind. And has jumped Adam Elzine, who was caught on the outside at 3. And as a result, has now found himself... Oh, and down to...
No, sorry, Brian Henderson in 6th position. He's still in that same battle. He is now going side by side as well.
Trying to work out where to look, folks. There's a lot happening up and down this field. And Adam Elzine could go from 3rd on the road to 6th very soon if Braden Henderson has anything to say about it. It seems that Matt Simmons has stabilised that gap to Josh Struik for now, but we'll keep an eye on those times for you, folks, to make sure we don't miss the lead change if it does come. Braden Henderson is sizing up the back of that Pinnacle Motorsports Porsche right now. The very lovely looking Pinnacle Motorsports Porsche. God, all the liveries look great this season. It's not easy to work with the limited livery offers that ACC offers, or the designs, the base designs you can make yourself as well. So there's not a lot of creativity in terms of what you can do, but they do a great amount with it, and they always make the cars look good. And certainly Braden Henderson, this Team XV Primer car looks great. And Adam Elzine using one of the preset liveries. 9th place. Bowen Piper.
I've just seen... yes, now Bowen Piper... Oh, he's got blue flags around him. Is that blue flags around him?
Not blue flags. There shouldn't be blue flags. There should be no one that is a lap down.
So he has... Yep. Yes, sorry, yeah, Hutton is... It's Hurley at the front of this group. So sorry, yeah, it was Hutton that did make a bit of a mistake. It's brought Bowen Piper right into the hunt here. It was actually Hurley who was defending from Hutton. Hutton tried an overtake. Hurley defended. Hutton lost momentum, and he's about to lose a position. It's going to be another turn 1 overtake, and it's a cutback. He's gone straight back and taken it. That is a beautiful defensive move there by Hutton in the Aston Martin. He saw that one coming an absolute mile away. He too was listening to the commentary when we said it was an overtaking point in turn number 1 and went, actually, no, it's not, lads. This is how you defend it. That's exactly what he's done there. So very close group in there. Hutton recovering from a mistake and then fending off Bowen Piper. How much longer he can fend off that Mustang for, though? How long is a bit of string? That's not a question I'd be prepared to throw my hat in the ring to put an affirmative type of answer on, but that is certainly looking very close with this little group in the midfield. And Matt Dernetti's looking like he's sizing up another overtake. Isaac, we need 16 screens to monitor this race. It has been decreed from above.
I think we need... ACC needs to implement some sort of split screen feature if we could. That'd be wonderful, so that we can watch every single battle that's happening here on the track. But this is Matt Donetti sizing up Aiden Holton now. He's got Adam Elzine behind him still, and Braden Henderson still hounding the back of him. There is 2 very distinct battles going on in this field at the moment. One being led by Aiden Holton, a CP Motorsports Porsche, and one being led by Nathan Hutton, or now Mark Hurley, but it was Nathan Hutton in a CP Motorsports Aston Martin. So
back to Bowen Piper in 9th.
Bowen Piper in 9th. What is going on? Oh, they're side by side. There's multiple cars side by side here. Around the outside, on the grass, looks rolling. Nicholson Tower wants a piece of it as well. He's going to go for the overtake of the NGK chicane, thinks better of it and backs out. They file back to single file. And now makes a dive at the final corner. There's a little bit of turn down from Hutton. There's contact between the two of them as they try to sort this out. A bit of rubbings racing, and now around goes Bowen Piper, heavy into the wall. And now here goes Rowan Nicholson. Michael Tower wants a piece of this as well. He's waiting to redress, so Hutton waiting to redress that position with the contact, and now it's opened the door for Hutton, for Toward and Nicholson, to be a part of this as well. It is all happening up and down the field at the moment. Bowen Piper has got that position back, but now Daniel Wood has inserted himself into this battle, so Daniel Wood is now in front of his teammate in Nathan Hutton, who will drop behind him outside the top 10, and that is super unfortunate for those two. That battle was always going to end in tears for somebody, and unfortunately it's ended in tears for Bowen Piper. It's ended in tears for Nathan Hutton, but it has absolutely been a godsend for Mark Hurley, who's pulled away, and for Riley Nicholson and Michael Tower. They now find themselves second and third in class, which is a great, great turnout for them. And how can they manage that from here? Looking down the order, this is Ben Sayers chasing down Max Honeybun. So Shepard's trying to pull away from these guys and make inroads on Xander Stewart, but just not able to at the moment. Peter Sargent as well down in 20th place, right in behind Wayne Tanner, who seems to be struggling now. He had pace in the early stages, but he is struggling a little bit. Josh Struick, meanwhile, at the front of the field, is right in behind Matt Simmons now. So the lead of this race is starting to get spicy, John Wright.
It absolutely is, yeah. The two Porsches, they've got a 7-second gap over the rest of the field. I mean, they're maybe both looking in the rear view mirror, looking at the timing tower, thinking, right, let's keep this nice and neat until we get a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. Right, it's 7 second, lads. What is it? Sleeves up, roll up the sleeves, grip onto that wheel. We've now got way less than half a second separating these top two. And even before that, Matt Dernetti, he's just swung it up the inside. He's trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes arena to take third position. Halton is under all kinds of pressure as the race leader is under all kinds of pressure as well. But we can see there, Matt Dernetti, he loves the Mercedes arena. Is there nothing this man can't do through this corner complex, Isaac? It's been an impressive drive through this particular section of the track so far, and he is really putting a hurt on Halton at the moment. That podium position could change hands sooner rather than later, and so could the top two podium positions, because the leaders are separated by 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, there is.
we need more screens.
we need a lot more screens. If we could get some more, that'd be great. There is nothing separating all these guys at the moment. This is brilliant action here. And we're only 25 minutes into this race, folks. We still have an hour and 35 minutes of action left to go. And this is, I have a feeling, John, this is how it's going to be for the entirety of these 2 hours, because they have not separated themselves yet. Looking further back, Daniel Woods is a fair way ahead now of Nathan Hutton, who redressed that position. Bowen Piper carrying damage on that left front. How much damage, though, remains to be seen. Looks like he could come under pressure here very, very soon. Michael Toward is sitting in behind Rowan Nicholson, albeit not as close as he once was. Braden Henderson hasn't found a way past Adam Elzine just yet. He's actually right up on the back of Matt Donetti now, who in turn is right up on the back of Aiden Halton. So Donetti needs to try and get this overtake done sooner rather than later. But he just hasn't been able to. He has a little bit of think about it off the curb through the final corner, but nothing doing on that occasion. A nice exit out of here, though, could set him up into turn one. These Porsches are on rails. That's what we've been told by a number of drivers. I have it on good authority. Matt Donetti decided to give the Porsche a crack during the week. Got in the Porsche and did it during the week. He was a bit crook during the week, but was committed to the craft nonetheless. And he's done a time that I'm told would have been good enough for pole and then some in that Porsche. So there is a lot of pace in that Porsche, and just goes to show how much he is wringing the neck out of this Audi, because there is not a lot of pace to be found in this Audi, and he is absolutely maximising everything he can with that Porsche. It looks like it's getting spicy at the front, though. Josh Schuck right behind Matt Simmons now.
Indeed he is, yeah. We've got more battles down the field as well, as we keep an eye on the race leaders keeping it close. We've also got Honeybun and Shepherd's re-involved in a battle. They've got Ben Sayers just behind them, the three of them separated by less than a second. We've also got Toward and Nicholson going for it just inside the top 10. But of course, this battle inside the top 5, or two battles inside the top 5. We've got a two-way battle for the lead. And we've got, what is that now, a four-way battle for third position. As you do. It's AGT, folks. Yeah, what else do you expect? Just casually. Just casually. This is what happens.
Just as you do. What else would you rather do on a Friday night than watch cars for the next 2 hours go nose tail? Look at the damage on the back of that Porsche for Josh Schumacher. He must have had some front and rear contact at some stage, which has upset the back of that Porsche. He should get that fixed in a pit stop, provided it's not hurting him too much, and maybe that's why he hasn't found his way past Matt Simmons yet. Although, a little bit of a mistake there from Simmons, but then on the exit, consequently a mistake for Struick. So Simmons was a little bit loose, and Struick found a bit of time, but on the exit it looked like Struick was a bit wider out on the grass and not able to capitalise what is happening further back in the field. Donetti is third, and off the road is Aiden Holton. Something has happened to a couple of cars here. So something has happened. I'm not sure, John, if we're able to get to the bottom of exactly what might have gone on there between, potentially it looks like Ailsine and Holton. So that's a peculiar one, and I might, as the man that has access to the replay, task you with trying to figure out exactly what went on there. But it looks like Donetti is now in.
Strangely though.
Well, yeah, go on.
So my replay's not showing any cars.
That's we don't need cars. That's all right. We'll just make it up, folks. We don't need to know what happened.
Yeah, it's completely blank. That's wild.
Very strange. Well, I guess we won't know what has happened to... There's some damage on the side of that Audi, but that's potentially already from earlier, I believe. So, what has happened there? Not entirely sure. I'm sure we'll get the answers post-race when it comes to the stewards, but Matt Donetti, as a consequence, has inherited third place and quite comfortably, and now Josh Struick is all over the back once again of Matt Simmons. The pressure is mounting on the race leader. I confirmed during the week that Matt Simmons has in fact raced here in real life, John, so he has some experience driving cars around here. He's been privileged enough to steer a GT3 car around here in real life, and now is using all that knowledge in ACC. I didn't quite get to the point of asking him if there's any major differences, but I'm sure there certainly would be, and one of those is that you're not there in real life, and nothing can beat, I'm sure, driving this track and doing the real thing. But this is about as close as he can get now these days, based in Melbourne. He's being put under pressure. There's a car in the pit lane. That's Andre Shepherd. So Andre Shepherd's going for his first pit stop of the race. So we'll go a lap down, but has elected to serve his first pit stop. So the first of the two compulsory pit stops out of the way for the Defy Motorsports Mercedes.
I guess that done good and early. I'm thinking he is carrying a bit of damage there. It's going to give him a bit of free track, which should let him cook, basically. He's come out just behind, though, the two race leaders, and he does have, that looks like it is Matt Donetti that is closing in on him. So he's going to get himself a bit of blue flag traffic to deal with, but shouldn't be too much. It's only going to be the top 6 or 7 in the immediate, that's for sure, but he is going to come back out. A good early pit stop. I mean, certainly 30 minutes in, he's got one more pit stop to take, so he's certainly he's not going to be too far off his strategy, and in fact I don't think it's going to be too much longer, probably about another 15 minutes or so. We start seeing the rest of the field come in, and yeah, with one or two of the other drivers carrying damage, I wouldn't be overly surprised if we see oh, there we go, Tanner's just come in. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more cars sneaking in now that we've got the first 30 minutes out of the way. As I say, with the 2 pit stop strategy, these cars can easily do an hour. You'd like to do slightly less so you can really wring the neck out with the tyres and not have to worry about taking on too much fuel. But certainly 30 minutes isn't going to be too detrimental to the strategy. Although these two Porsches up at the front, there's one of these two coming into the pits to avoid continuing this battle. Oh, he's having a look up the inside of the NGK chicane. He thought about it. Simmons getting a good run out of Ad Van Bogen. Struick, the fastest car on track at the moment, still can't find his way past, though. These two absolutely entangled, and I'd imagine at this stage they're probably both praying to get into the pits as soon as possible to try and get themselves a bit of breathing space. And yeah, folks in the chat as well, chuck some numbers in. How many drive-throughs or stop-goes do we think we're going to see for pit lane violations? Remember, we've got 22 cars with 2 pit stops each. 44 pit stops we are going to see today. A tricky pit entrance and exit. Do we think anyone's going to miss their box today? It's certainly not so much curse to the commentator, more pretty much guaranteed to happen. It's a race, somebody will. So yeah, I think we will see a couple as well with the amount of pit stops that we've got to take. But these two up at the front. Oh, and there comes Wood in from 12th position.
Wood is in, yep. So Wood is in the lane.
So that's another driver in the pits.
That's an interesting call. It's an early stop for him. And look, you can go, I think the typical strategy will be 45, 45, 45. So split the race into 3 even segments. However, you can pit now, extend the middle stint for an hour, do an hour in the middle, and then go for half an hour at the end, which means you can really wring the neck out of those tyres. However, it does mean this middle stint, you will be asking a lot of that set of tyres. So they had 6 sets of tyres on offer for this evening, John, which they'll need at least 3 sets for the race, provided they don't make an unscheduled pit stop later on. for damage repair. Even then, they could just leave that set of tyres on and only repair the damage. But
jump onto 8th.
Jump onto 8th. Let's have a look what's happening, Riley Nicholson. Oh, we're looking at a curb. That's absolutely lovely. There we go. A very, very close battle at the front of this field. So they've closed up to Mark Hurley, who had about a 3-second lead once they got past Bowen Piper and Nathan Hutton. And now they are closing in on, well, I say closing in, they are right in behind Mark Hurley. So it is close for the lead of the Pro-Am class, and Riley Nicholson would very much love to get up into the lead of this class. He has had a couple of good results, but mostly it's been a difficult season for the number 6 so far. You would like... Oh, and he's turned Hurley. Unfortunately, there's been contact, and he's turned Hurley, which has forced Hurley into the pit lane. Maybe that's where he wanted to go anyway, but there was a little bit of contact, and Hurley got sideways, and Nicholson was so close behind that if you want to go into the pits and you have to roll out of it, that's sort of an unfortunate risk that comes with it, that if you've got a car right behind you, you roll out of the throttle to try and go through the pits, there is a little bit of contact that results, and unfortunately it meant that, look, Hurley got into the lane, but there might be a little bit of cost there in terms of track position in the end. But Riley Nicholson left to push on in the lead of this class behind in front of Michael Toward. Bowen Piper about 1.6 seconds back, carrying a little bit of damage from that heavy hit into the wall earlier on. Out the front, though, they are still inseparable. It's still going on for the lead of this race. Martinetti, with his own little bit of breathing room from Braden Henderson, who is 5 seconds back, but 2.5 seconds up the road from Aiden Holton, and then Adam Elzine right in behind Holton. So it is pretty close between the 98 and the 16 right now. Nicholson is a little bit behind these guys, 10 seconds, there you go, so almost 11 seconds behind them. And then Bowen Piper, Nathan Hutton rounding out top 10. Mark Hurley leaving the pit lane, repairing some damage there by the looks of it. He's going to come out close to, well, he's out on the lane now, he'll come out close to Daniel. That was a flash for someone there.
Whoa!
Not sure who that was.
The top 2 really are going for it. Sorry, the exit to the NGK chicane there, both Porsches right up on that exit curb there. I've not seen that much dirt kicked up since I did some dirt racing on iRacing. That was absolutely wild how much care these 2 drivers take. And I'm not sure at my age my heart can take much more of that. I don't know how they survive that in these cars. They are aging an old man horribly with this driving on the absolute... It's a razor's edge. It's not even a knife edge. It is a surgical razor's edge. And Holton comes into the pits with only... That's 10 minutes earlier than I thought. And Tower's coming as well.
So they are going for the early stops here. The undercuts potentially. So Holton going for an alternate strategy. Maybe that damage on the front of the car. They want to get out of the way in the car. Look at the slide into the pit box as they stop on the concrete. And now we'll come through the first of the cars to stop so far. Is Mark Hurley. Wayne Tan has actually been through the lane twice here, so he's served technically both his 2 stops. So some damage on that 97 car has meant that he's actually ticked the compulsory box. He will have to stop before this race is over, but considering he's ticked the compulsory box, he only has to stop for fuel now. He doesn't have to stop for tyres again because it's not mandatory. So he only has to come into Splash and Dash. If he can make these tyres last an hour and 24, he may not necessarily love the fact that he can, but he doesn't have to spend 30 seconds waiting for a new set of tyres.
Indeed, yeah, although I'm going to be honest, that is a big ask. An hour and 24 minutes out of 1 set of tyres, you really are going to be pushing your luck at 32 degrees. But sometimes that is what you have to do to get yourself to the end of the race in the best position possible. We've got another battle brewing as well down in 14th place. I've been keeping a little eye on Sayers, Green and Sargent. Sargent, another one of the red Aston Martins. He is looking like he is closing in on the McLaren and Mercedes of Sayers and Green ahead of him. They cannot sort out their affairs at the moment, and it looks like he might be the one to sort it out for them. That's Holton back out with the pit, so he's back out behind this group of 3, so he'll be hoping they come into pit before he catches up to them. But certainly it's another 3-way battle here, and I actually think we'll see one of them come into the pits on this lap. I think now that we've seen some drivers come in, I'm going to say some, it's like half a dozen or so that we've had come in so far. I do think that then encourages other drivers and will change their mindset slightly to come in. So I'm wondering, Sayers, Green and Sargent, do one of them come on in this line? The three of them keep using one another's slipstream to try and encroach the gap that they've got to the drivers ahead of them, because they do have a bit of a gap ahead. Max Honeybun is leaving them all behind. He stayed out. No, and there we go. As predicted, I got something right. Sargent's come into the pits.
There we go.
Note down the date and time. Commentator got something right. But yeah, Sargent has come into the pits. He has taken himself out with his battle as expected. That's left Sayers and Green to crack on. There is Sargent filing his way into the pits. Of course, Simmons and Struick, I think they're having too much fun, to be honest. I don't think either of them wants to come into the pits right now. This is a great battle that they're having up at the front. Both of them making just these tiny little mistakes here and there, but they're managing to recover and keep it as is, and they're still increasing the gap to Dernetti. He's now 9.5 seconds back, and we've seen what he's done to the rest of the field, so it just goes to show you how quickly these two are going up at the front. Oh, jeez, my goodness me, that exit curve. It's, yeah. I'm going to need to mute my mic when they go over there from now on. We've had Les Sandwith has come into the pits as well. He is coming in to take his first pit stop as well. Now that we're at the 40-minute mark, I did think it was going to be 45 minutes in we would start seeing the majority of the pit stops, but certainly a lot of drivers coming in already. Who wins this race? Oh, I tell you what, I'm going to be brave and say someone else.
Ooh, that's a big call. That's a big call. As I set the poll, so I can't vote, which is unfortunate. But if I could vote, I think I'd pick Matt Simmons at this stage. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on. I'm going to touch wood real quick because I really don't want to. But he looks strong. Josh Struick can't find a way past him, and if he can nail this pit stop, both these pit stops, Matt Simmons, he can hold on to this race lead. But it's going to be a question of when does he blink? So Riley Nicholson, Bowen Piper, both into the lane to join Guy Farmer, Les Sandwith, who have both elected to stop as well. It's interesting to note that Aiden Holton has come out behind Toward and Hurley. So the damage repair for Holton was so long that he's actually fallen behind two of the drivers that were at the front of this class. Now, what I'm curious to see here, as Rowan Green also jumps into the lane, where does Mark Hurley come out in relation to Nicholson and Piper? Because that's going to tell a story in terms of the pace that those drivers have. Because if you keep in mind, they were nose to tail right here. It was almost spun by Mark Hurley when Riley Nicholson got in the back of him, because Hurley had to get out of the throttle to make it across to the pit entry. He comes on the front straight now. Nicholson has left the lane just then. So Nicholson will come back out in front. Bowen Piper has only just dropped. And into the pit lane that is Josh Struick. So Josh Struick has pulled the trigger. He's gone for a stop now. So the first of those two cars to blink. How long? Zanetti has followed him in. So that's a smart call from Matt Zanetti. How long will Zanetti sit there though? Will he repair that damage, or will he leave it as is? Will Struick repair the damage on his car? Matt Simmons doesn't have a scratch on his car at the moment. Does he push on longer, or will he elect to come in now? What is the strategy if you are Matt Simmons at this very moment?
Yeah, I wish I had the brain power that Matt Simmons had. I wouldn't be on a microphone, I'd be holding the steering wheel. I think, I mean, it's 50-50 here, because Henderson and Elzine have come in as well. Hutton's just come in. I think Preslin's going to come in. So there is a flood of cars from inside the top 5, never mind the top 10, that are all making their way into the pit straight. Struick, Dernetti, Henderson, Elzine and Hutton pulling in. The aforementioned 4 there, all stationary. Yep, Struick, yep, he's on his way out. Struick's on his way out. Dernetti was about 9 seconds behind. He is dropped now as well. Tell you what, he's made up a bit of time on Struick.
He hasn't repaired that damage either. Struick has also not elected to repair damage. So those cars are staying damaged, which means they're going to push on as they are. So they've elected not to repair, which I believe Aiden Holton did elect to repair that car. So that's interesting to note. Adam Elzine leaving the pit lane with Braden Henderson. So he's actually jumped Henderson in the pit. So that's crucial. That is huge. So Adam Elzine, came in a significant way behind Braden Henderson, has now jumped him in the pit stop. And that, as you said, speaks to the fact that you need to really nail these pit stops, and now Matt Simmons responds. So Matt Simmons is into the lane and has bleaked pretty much straight away. He's not going to give Josh Struick any opportunity to get a massive undercut.
No, he's not. He is going to come in. He is going to match his competitor. So we'll see what Struick, who is still the fastest man out on track, despite being in second place in the opening 22 laps, he is now free and clear. The camera angles provided by
penalty
ACC
for car 115.
Folks. Yeah,
speeding in the pit lane. Xander Stewart speeding in the pit lane. So that's on exit. So that's after this stops. You can see here is Matt Simmons stopped once on the way in. If you speed on entry, that's a 30-second stop go. If you speed and you let off the pit limiter too early, that is a drive-through penalty. And unfortunately for Xander Stewart, he will have to serve that pretty much ASAP. Where is Josh Struick? So Matt Simmons has stopped in the box. That is his pit stop time now. As car 69 Guy Farmer is in the lane. He will now depart. Is Matt Simmons moving yet? He's just dropped. He's moving now. Where is Josh Struick? Will he come out in front? I think he will. Out of the exit. So there is Matt Simmons. Where is Josh Struick? There he is. And Matt Simmons actually has got a relative jump on the CP Motorsports Porsche. So that's actually a fair gap. And Matt Simmons has absolutely nailed that, giving himself some breathing room.
Yeah, he has indeed. I was going to pick you up. The gap there now is incredible. Matt Simmons has worked absolute wonders through that pit lane, or Josh Struick just had an absolute horror show of an outlap. But one way or another, Simmons has got it absolutely nailed. If you want to see what championship winning pedigree looks like, folks, it's on screen now. Quick, consistent, and clean through the pits as well. You really have to have every single aspect of your driving game and racing game on point to be competitive, especially in a league as close as this. And Matt Simmons has extended that gap by 2.5 seconds.
Wow.
That is ungodly. Not only that, Dernetti has closed in 2 seconds on Josh Struick since getting out of the pits. So Struick, I think he's had some kind of issue on that outlap, because he's lost 2.5 to Simmons and he's lost 2 to Dernetti. That is a huge amount of time to lose these competitors, but it's time that we won't be able to spend much watching, because Elzine in 6th position is under all kinds of pressure from Presland.
From Henderson. So
Henderson, sorry, yeah, and
Henderson
he's actually got past him.
Well, Henderson was in front of Elzine, and now Elzine has actually got back past him. So this was how they came out of the pits. That swapped back around, and now it's swapped around again. So they're playing musical positions right now. Henderson sizing up a move, though, down the back straight. They're going to go side by side. This is not a place you want to go side by side into the NGK chicane. Who will back out of this? It's not going to be either of them. They're not going to back out of it. We're going to get side by side. Henderson swoops across in front to lock that position, covers the inside line, parking it in the middle of the circuit into the final corner, and eventually secures that position. But he made him work hard for that, did Adam Elzine. And now it's not done yet, John. He's coming back at him down the front straight.
Oh, he absolutely is, yeah. Into turn number 1, they're sizing up their options here. We know the cutback's available. We know they're round the outside through the Mercedes arena, and that could be what the Porsche is looking for. He's got a bit keen on that right-hand curve on the way into turn number 1. So into the Mercedes arena is the Mercedes that is still in front. Elzine was certainly eyeing up that cutback there. Just too much contact with the curb, and it leaves Henderson in the driving seat at the moment. So the Mercedes all conquering through the Mercedes arena at the moment. But that Porsche, it's another car that's on home soil here. The Kaiser will be impressed. And I tell you what, Elzine is really putting the pressure on Henderson. So we've got more battles just in and around the top 5 after the pit stops as well. We've also got a couple brewing just outside the top 10 as well. Bone Piper is on an absolute charge, I can confirm. And Wood, has Wood made the overtake there?
No, it's Bowen Piper. So Bowen Piper's found his way past Daniel Wood.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Through the Mercedes arena. So that's a change of position. Bowen Piper is absolutely driving away from Daniel Wood here. So it seems to be the Bowen Piper is absolutely putting pedal to the metal now to try and make up for lost time after that unfortunate incident earlier on with Nathan Hutton, who actually sits in 11th now. So the drive-through has been cleared for Xander Stewart. He's lost quite a lot of positions as a result, but does clear his drive through. The only car in the field left to make their pit stop is this man on screen, Max Honeybun, driving with Max Silver. So Team Nissan GTR at Defy Motorsports this season pushes on for another lap. Is he going for almost an hour without having to stop? He's going to have to do 2 stops in the last hour, which could be great for his tyres, but at the moment, car 46, Ben Sayers, that's a yellow flag, and that's huge damage to the front end of that Mercedes. So something has happened. Something has happened to the Team XV Primer Mercedes. Again, I'm not sure if your replay is showing you cars yet, John, or it's still just showing you a blank
honestly,
screen.
I'm going to take a picture and share it in Discord. This is ridiculous. This is what I'm looking at on screen. My screen is blank.
That is...
the car is...
excellent.
It's like the camera is moving, following a car, but there's nothing there.
That's exactly...
It's so bizarre.
Welcome to ACC, ladies and gentlemen. But no, that's unfortunate for Ben Sayers. He now drops down. That's a lot of damage on the front of that car as well. He'll have to pit, I would imagine. I don't think he'll be able to push on like that. So what has happened, I'm not quite sure. Rowan Green, his car looks to be okay. The back of Peter Sargent's also looks okay. Felix Preslin, there's a bit of damage to the back of his car, but nothing major. Shepherd's, the back of his car look alright? It does. So what's happened to Ben Sayers? I'm not quite sure. He was in the battle with these guys earlier on. He is super annoying and very unfortunate for Sayers. Peter Sargent now jumps Rowan Green up into 14th place. So only 2 cars that have technically ticked the mandatory stop box are Wayne Tanner and Guy Farmer in 21st and 22nd. Everyone else still needs to serve their second stop, unless your name is Max Honeybun, who needs to still do both stops. Does he come in this time around? Let's have a little look. I'm getting a
I think
nice
Honeybun is
photo.
on a great strategy here, by the way.
This
I'm going
is,
to just quickly comment on this. He's got it nailed in. He's only going to... I think... Oh, my goodness me. He's going to get a slap on the wrist for that one. Did he miss... Yeah, what's going on? I hope you're not listening to this broadcast, Max. Don't do that while you're driving. If you are,
don't watch and
we
drive.
don't mind. You can mute the tab. You can keep it running. Don't put yourself off. Although he's maybe taking notes so he can correct us. But I think he's got the right idea here. The drivers have got 6 set of tyres. Great. They've got 2 mandatory pit stops. You can change tyres twice. That's a minute. If he goes for his 2 stops and does a splash and dash on the second with only 1 tyre change on the first, he saves himself 30 seconds. And that 30-second save puts him in the lead of the race.
Well,
that's
an interesting.
Yes,
that's an interesting.
there you go.
That's an interesting strategy. We'll
have
to see how that plays out.
Yeah,
I'm very interested to see how that plays out as the race goes on. Now, we're looking at Aidan Holton, who's raced up to the back of his CP Motorsports stablemate in Riley Nicholson. Now, Holton, remember, had that really long pit stop for the first stop, so I'm not quite sure what happened for Holton, but he was sat there for a long time, and as a result, lost quite a number of positions. He was up with that group earlier on in 5th and 6th with Elzine and Henderson, so not quite sure what the consequence of this has been, but, well, I can see the consequence, but what the long-term consequence will be. But he has to work his way back through the field at this stage, and is sizing up Riley Nicholson, who sits 3rd in class, 2nd in class on correction, but the question mark over the strategy that Max Honeybun is going to go for here this evening, and just where exactly that's going to leave him. Matt Simmons is maintaining a gap to Josh Stewart at the front of this field, which is very exciting. Nathan Hutton is all over the back of Mark Hurley for 10th position. There is things happening up and down this field, John Wright. I don't know where to look.
Indeed, yeah, and my little mathematical brain is going absolutely wild. I'm now wondering if Josh Struick has actually pulled a worldie here and we haven't realised. Now, obviously, keeping the average weight of the car down makes the car faster because it weighs less, and that is just how these things work. What if Struick was in the pit lane longer because he took on more fuel? What if he has taken enough fuel to almost get to the end of the race, so he only has to do a quick splash and dash for his second pit stop? That would then make his second pit stop 2 seconds quicker than anyone else is, and would put him right back in Simmons' pocket. If not, slightly ahead. That could be what we're seeing going on here. And again, when you're trying to mix it up, you're trying to do something different, it's like you've got to know when to hold them and you've got to know when to fold them. And sometimes you've got to just take a risk. He's looking at the back of Simmons' car, lap after lap after lap. Can't get an overtake, can't get an overtake. What can I do to get past him? Well, maybe I just need to out-strategize him. What if I take on more fuel now and less fuel in the second pit stop and bring us back together again? It's definitely, I think, a possibility. And Max Honeybun's just been overtaken there by Braden Henderson, while Honeybun's still to take his first pit stop. So a couple of interesting strategy calls, and it would be interesting to find out if that's what Struick's done. I don't know if any of his CP teammates are in the chat and would like to drop us a nod as to what the strategy is. Okay, nobody's watching, it's just us. If you just let us know what the strategy is, we'll keep it to ourselves, it's fine.
That's right, we won't show it. Now, I have had 2 pieces of information passed across my desk, which unfortunately I think may take away some of the excitement that we're trying to, some of the suspense we're trying to build here. So, number 1 is that for these 2 mandatory pit stops to count, you have to change tyres. So Max Honeybun, we talked up the idea that maybe he's going to try and do 1 stop of just tyres and then fuel, splash and dash, tick off that box. The rule is you have to change tyres at both stops. That was set by race control prior to this race. So to get those 2 tipped off, he's going to have to serve at least 30 seconds in the booth, which means that advantage that we thought he might be going for will unfortunately be moot and irrelevant. So we're really excited by that, but it has unfortunately not come to fruition. Now, the other thing is Aiden Holton. With the fuel time is not fixed, which means that if you do put fuel in the car, you won't sit there for the fixed time of 30 seconds. It can vary how long the driver does sit there for. However, if you change tyres, any and all fuel you put in will be covered under that 30-second tyre stop, because the maximum amount of fuel you can put in a car takes 30 seconds to go in. So it won't make too much of a difference on his fuel in the end when he stops to change tyres, because all of his fuel will be covered under tyres, as will everyone else's. So look, if he did take less fuel in hopes of gaining a little bit of time back, it unfortunately will be a moot effort, because he's not going to be able to gain any major advantage from that. The only advantage that could come from that is if he does need to stop a 3rd time. But if he needs to stop a 3rd time, there's not really going to be an advantage to him, is it? Because he has to do a 3rd tour of the pit lane. So, a couple interesting things that got sent my way that we can make notes of to keep track. Now, just noting as well, there is lap traffic that is befalling a few of these drivers. So, Ben Sayers has actually come into the lane for his 2nd pit stop. He should be able to get home from here with 1 hour and 5 minutes to go, John, but
a lot of damage.
A lot of damage to that car.
A lot of damage.
That's the damage he was carrying earlier. But the question I have is, well, the theory that I want to ponder now. The leaders, specifically Matt Simmons and Josh Struick, are starting to catch back markers. So the next car up the road is Andre Shepers, and then you've got Presland and it looks like potentially car 36, which is Rowan Green, not too far in front of that. How does this affect the drivers? They need to navigate this lap traffic fairly quickly, but this could open the door for Martinetti here a little bit. I don't want to put any sort of jinx or curse on anybody, but Martinetti's 8.5 seconds back. If it's a bit tricky to navigate some of this lap traffic here, especially for Simmons and Struick, that could close in that gap for Martinetti.
Yeah, indeed it could. Indeed it could, and that is exactly what Bernetti is going to be needing, and he is. Oh, it's limited at 8.7 seconds. Sorry, I'm also watching Nicholson and Halton as we are, because Halton is... Oh no, that was Halton's teammate Porsche we were watching there, because Halton is right on the back of Nicholson. They're both CP drivers, so it is an interesting one. Now, we know the Porsche is quick around here. We had 4 in the top 4 for a very good reason. We've now got 4 in the top. Those 4 are now in the top 10 and looking to make an improvement. But it is Nicholson v Halton at the minute. Nicholson, certainly a driver I've mentioned a few times. If it wasn't for bad luck, he would have no luck whatsoever. He's not the person you want to be asking lottery numbers from. That is for sure. Absolutely solid driver, as clean as they come as well. He's just been on the in the wrong place at the wrong time at several points this season. He's now got his teammate in what is objectively the quicker car around this course, and in fact they've just swapped positions. So there we go. I was dragging my way along to, will we see team orders going through Ad Van Bogen? No, we're going to see it through Warsteiner, the corner before, and already look at the gap that the Porsche is pulling on an Aston Martin through the fastest part of the track. That's an Aston Martin he's just left standing, folks. You know, one of those cars that is ridiculously quick in a straight line. Porsche says, not today, baby puppy. That is a solid overtake there, and certainly I would say that's a good use of team orders there, Isaac, because certainly Halton, as we can see, he was definitely being held up. As quick as Nicholson is, Halton was being held up in there in that Porsche, and already into turn number 1, he's got nearly a second of a gap to continue his charge back towards what he's hoping is going to be the top 5.
He certainly is. And speaking of Nicholson, we look at his teammate here, Nathan Hutton, who is right in behind Mark Hurley now. So the 47 hounding the back of the 100. And this is for what will be third in class. So Max Honeybun yet to serve his first pit stop. He's still going out there. He'll probably pit, hopefully, very soon. You'd imagine he'll be starting to get out of fuel. I'm shocked
7 minutes.
Still running. 7 minutes before he runs out of fuel. And 3.5 seconds up the road from Michael Toward. So he's actually about to be overtaken shortly if he keeps this up by the effective class leader. So where he comes out after that pit stop remains to be seen. He should still be inside the top 20. But I'd imagine he will go a lap down at this rate. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move on. But we're looking at this to the outside now. Nathan Hutton wants to go the long way. Might look for the switchback here on exit, but just stuck on that high line, not able to get underneath Mark Hurley on that occasion. So there is some quite exciting battles happening out there at the moment. Josh Struick not able to reel in Matt Simmons. So Matt Simmons looking fairly comfortable in control of this race at the moment. He is putting in consistent lap times and actually slightly pulling away from Josh Struick at this stage, which might be helped by the lap traffic, but I would say for the most part is just down to the pace that Matt Simmons has.
I think so, and he's magnifying that as well because he's now got the purple moniker next to his name, so he has set the fastest lap of the race since coming out of the pits. There's been no change in track temperature. It's all about the driving. It was Struick who was the quicker of the two, and then they've come out of the pits, and it is a completely different ball game that we're looking at the moment. Certainly for the top well, I'm going to say top 2 because Dernetti's back to 9 seconds down, so the Audi again really is found wanting around here compared to these Porsches. Matt Simmons is wanting for nothing at the moment though. He's got a 3.5 second gap over a driver that was no more than 0.3 of a second behind his rear spoiler for that entire first stint. And since coming out the pits, he really has got the foot down, got the head down, and absolutely smashing in. As you mentioned, very consistent, and as I've mentioned, very quick laps indeed.
And there we go. We just got the signal from race control.
Notification.
Halfway into the race. So 1 hour down, 1 hour to go, and time has flown by. A couple of connection issues there for Adam Elzine, it seems, at the moment. Hopefully he can get those sorted, but he's right in behind Braden Henderson still, so hasn't let him go. You can see the lights flashing on the 877 car for the 69 car of, I believe that's Guy Farmer it is, to get out of the way. There's lap traffic coming through, continues to blink, does Adam Elzine, so connection issues will continue to be a problem, it seems, for him. Oh, and I've lost everyone. I've disconnected from the server. We will get that fixed, folks. 2 seconds. Are you still in the server, John?
I am still in the server, yes. I'm watching Hutton v Hurley. Yeah, I will. As Isaac mentioned, we are halfway through the race. It's Simmons, Struick and Dernetti on the podium. Henderson in 4th with Elzine and Toward 5th and 6th. Honeybun, Halton, Nicholson and Hurley all inside the top 10, although Hurley's position in the top 10 is in no way, shape or form secure because he's got Hutton within 0.3 of a second. Hutton chasing him through the final chicane. They're just coming to the final corner now. Oh, and Max Honeybun finally comes in to take his pit stop. And they'll go over the hour mark, so I was only 2 minutes off when I said he was going to come in, and he has come in with 1 hour and 2 minutes registered in the race so far. There is Honeybun coming in for his first pit stop, so that means that puts him in a very good position. He's got 58 minutes
to
run these tyres. Connection. Why is it I'm in Scotland and you're in Australia? And you're the one getting kicked out for ping limit. What is going on?
I am the one getting kicked out. So keep us up to date, John, in case there is anything that's happened. We're going to try and do a full reset here of the systems. We love Assetto Corsa and all its little quirks, don't we? And just the
absolutely said no one ever.
It works perfectly. I'm telling you now, we are in discussions to move to Le Mans Ultimate, and as much as I love this game, the second Le Mans Ultimate comes out for console, it will be goodbye Assetto Corsa, because there has been, I think, one too many issues with this games, and the broadcasting as well, like just the cameras and the limitations you have, even compared to the PC version of this game, is super frustrating. So we'll get this back up very soon, but in the meantime, John, keep us informed of everything that's happening out there.
I will do. Yep, the race leaders are still running away with it. Simmons is still, in fact, he has stretched that gap. It's now sitting at 4 seconds to Struick, with Dernetti 9.5 seconds behind. I'm keeping a close eye on Hurley and Hutton. It's the closest battle that we'll... Oh, no, my apologies. Sorry. Oh, Elzine is closing back up on Henderson. So Henderson in 4th has lost a bit of time on that lap to Elzine. He's now within a second, and we've got Hurley and Hutton, as I mentioned. They're 9th and 10th respectively. Hutton looking to take that single-digit position from Hurley's possession at the moment. After letting his teammate through, Hurley made his way through as well, as we saw. And it is now Hutton's job to try and retake the position from Hurley if he can, although Hurley's Ferrari looking very good along the start-finish straight. Apologies, folks. We will have some live race footage for you very shortly. Racing gods, I'm not happy with Isaac at the moment. Not sure what he's done to annoy them, but he has been removed from the server. He's doing a full reset. We will get him back up and live, and we'll get the live photos. But at the moment, 56 minutes left of the 2-hour race here, Season 3, round number 5 of the German Grand Prix. Of course, we had the qualifying shootout last week that decided the start of the grid, bar 110-place penalty for one of the drivers, and they've been running phenomenally since the race started. Certainly, Matt Simmons, an absolute phenom all on his own. That gap now over the 4-second mark. We've got Dernetti still in 3rd with Henderson and Elzine, although Henderson, after losing a bit of time, oh, bless me, I love having hay fever. Elzine, he's actually lost a bit of time to Henderson. It's 1.3 seconds now is the gap there. So Henderson, after making a mistake, I think it was through Warsteiner, has managed to correct it and get that gap going back in his direction. Certainly not the case for Hurley. He is still being chased down by Hutton. Goodness, bless me. Sorry, 2 seconds.
It's still going on, and it's John providing us with a sort of a radio play-by-play commentary at the moment, and we are working on these technical difficulties. It seems that my PlayStation is not wanting to play ball, and Greenie in the chat, g'day Greenie, we miss you on track. Hopefully we see you back on track very soon. We know you're a busy man, but saying LMU is going to be a game changer, it certainly is. Look, I can't say too much, but we already have plans in place for the transition from ACC.
Oh, we've got an overtake
LMU.
attempt. Let me talk you through this before we talk about LMU. Into turn number 1, it is Hutton and Hurley. They went side by side there. We've seen cutback attempt on the way out there. The Aston Martin is all over the back of Hurley here. Hurley is still, he's got less than a tenth of a second now on the way out of the Mercedes arena. They're going to come out of this exit curb. The Ferrari's going to run as much track as he can. Hutton wisely taking a bit of a tighter line down into turn number 3. Oh, and Hurley's just managed to get the foot down. Oh, he's kept it. Hurley has kept the position from Hutton. Hutton really is pushing the buttons, though. There, the Ferrari, the better all-rounder car, certainly, but the Aston Martin better in a straight line as they head down towards the hairpin. There's now only a tenth of a second separating them, which is absolutely nothing. It's going to be fun to see them go through the Schumacher S's, although two completely different lines there. Hurley seemed to go overly defensive, in my opinion there, through that chicane, through the hairpin, sorry, and that has let Hutton keep the gap as close as it is up through the Schumacher S's. He is right on top. The gap now registered at 0.2 of a second into Warsteiner, the left-hander, before they take the right down the hill into Ad Van Bogen. I think this is going to be an attempt here into the NGK chicane, no less, depending on how he gets this exit. Yep, he's got the good exit. 2/10 of a second separating him down through Ad Van Bogen. He's going to have a bit of a slipstream advantage. Is he going to get close enough? And in fact, he stayed out with the slipstream on the way into the NGK chicane. That is an interesting one. Although that could be strategy. If you keep your powder dry through the NGK chicane, you could then get a good exit out with the last corner and make an attempt into the first corner, and I think that is what we're going to see here, because look at the exit he has just got out with the last corner. There's nothing separating these two at all. A quarter of a second separating them across the start-finish line. The Ferrari's going defensive. He's taking it inside line. Will the Aston go for the cutback? Does he have the room for the cutback? He's sweeping it towards that inside apex. He's potentially going to be side by side into the second part of the Mercedes arena. Oh, look how close they are getting here. Hutton, sorry. Right at the back, and I mentioned Piper because he's only a couple of seconds down in that damaged Mustang, but that gap has closed by almost a second in that last lap while these two have been battling. So Hurley and Hutton, they are in fighting a third driver into their little Friday evening party that they're having. And it's going to be a lot more interesting when Piper gets involved, but it's good to see. We do have live pictures, and we've got Isaac back, and just in time, Isaac, because Hurley and Hutton are continuing the dance of the overtake round here at the Nürburgring. Oh, and a quick update as well. Max Honeybun came back out the pits in 14th position.
Interesting. There you go. Good to know. Max Honeybun, 14th, so not a massive loss, actually, for him. Back to live pictures, ladies and gentlemen. We do have the vision back. We apologise for the drop of footage. And, yeah, we are... Look, Creamy saying, I'll be back for LMU. I can't wait for LMU. It's going to be massive. We're already building. There's no release date for console yet, which is a shame, but we're hoping to get more information. They're going to do a big announcement in regards to a lot of LMU features at Le Mans this year, actually. So we're hoping for some information on console when that arrives. And when we have more information, no doubt the community will be the first to be updated. But as soon as that is available on console, we will be moving to LMU and keeping our traditional GT format. Hurley has dived into the pit lane, so he's gone for an early stop here. I say early stop, it's about 50 minutes to go. That probably tracks, actually, with, you know, we're within that sort of 10-minute window of an undercut and an overcut. Andre Sheppers is also into the lane for his second and final stop of the evening. But Hurley, the first one of that sort of top 10 group to blink. And that is an interesting call. How long does everyone else stay out? Donetti's still falling behind Josh Struick. It's 10 seconds down the gap between himself and Struick. But Struick, in turn, is falling behind Matt Simmons. So Matt Simmons, 4.5 seconds up the road from the CP1 driver. So this will be huge points for Matt Simmons. 300 plus the extra, believe it or not, extra 1 point for getting the fastest lap of the race. So it'll be 301 points coming his way, which is a huge bag of points for the BCG3 driver, considering he missed the first round of the season.
Yeah, if you're going to miss a round, then you might as well win the one when you've got double points. That instantly makes up for it, so that brings the win back his way, although everyone else getting double points as well today, so it's going to be a huge points haul for everyone, but certainly Simmons maximising his double points effort at the moment. We've got 4 seconds of a gap between the two of them, and we are now well within the window for that second round of pit stops. The drivers could easily pit now. Of course, the later they leave it, the fresher their tyres are going to be for that final run, and that is going to be where the decisions are held. Hurley back out of the pits in 11th position, so he is by far and away the furthest driver up the field who's taking his pit stop. Sheppers is second in that regard. He's taken both his pit stops. He's down in 18th. So yeah, it's been a tough run for Sheppers after that early incident, but he is clear of pit stops and running to the end of the race. So too Hurley, clear of pit stops and running to the end of the race. Toward and Halton in 5th and 6th. Now only separated by 0.3 of a second. And I'll tell you what, Halton is all over the back of him. Towers just made a mistake through the Mercedes arena, and Halton is going to say thank you very much and send that up the inside like he is absolutely standing still. Beautiful manoeuvre there. Tower made a slight mistake. Halton had to adjust halfway through the mid-phase of the corner there, managed to adjust and get the overtake done. Those Porsches really are nimble little machines, Isaac.
They certainly are. It's our Dusty in the chat saying, I miss M Silver. Oh, I think that's because it is you. So if you miss yourself, maybe you should get back on track and race. But no, Max is on night shift this evening, so not able to race. He's recently started a brand new job, so congratulations. But unfortunately, we don't see him on track. Hopefully, we'll see him back for the next round in 3 weeks' time. But yeah, it's a shame that there is no Max Silver out there this evening. But we will make sure that we see him on track as soon as we possibly can. Now, looking up and down this battle. So Toward's now going to come under pressure from Riley Nicholson as a result of that overtake. Max Honeybun is putting some pressure on Felix Presland as well here. So Presland in the 5. Oh, car in the pit. So Donetti is electing to go for a pit stop now. His second and final pit stop of the race. So the number 1 car, he needs to nail this on his marks. Does he nail it? He does. That is absolutely picture perfect. Didn't have to go backwards. So he's nailed that stop there. But Max Honeybum is closing up to the number 5 car, Felix Presland. This could put a bit of pressure on for what is going to be 12th on the road on correction. Mark Hurley should get that spot back into, he's now down in 15th after his pit stop. He's not too far off the back of this group, actually. I'm just looking where he is on the road. He's right in behind the 36 car, only 2.5 seconds. But there is an immense amount of pressure being placed on Felix Presland right now. Bowen Piper also into the lane for his second and final stop of the race. Donetti has left the pit, so Donetti is done. He served his pit stops, ticks the green box, and away he will go. He's behind. A look on track, he's behind Les Sandwith, but in terms of position, he's behind Daniel Wood, so he'll be in 10th place on correction while these pit stops work themselves out. Now, can Max Honeybun get past Felix Presland? That's the question that we are asking ourselves at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. 46 minutes to go. Fairly fresh set of boots on this Nissan GTR at the moment. He has to serve another stop, but he's probably only going to do 2 half-an-hour stints here, which is really, really good for tyre life.
Yeah, and in fact, it's so good for tyre life, I don't think he's going to change tyres on his next pit stop. There's absolutely no point. If he's done over an hour on one set of tyres, he can clearly do, and less than an hour on a set of tyres, and that's all he needs to do. I think he is going to come in for a splash and dash, and in fact, I don't think it's going to be even that much of a splash. So he is going to be absolutely rapid through the pits. Honeybun is definitely still in the hunt for the Pro-Am win here. Let's not get that twisted, especially given how close Toward and Nicholson are. These two really cannot separate themselves at all. Nicholson has had a good run past his teammate, but the Aston v Aston battle at the top of the Pro-Ams certainly on track at the moment. 0.2 of a second separating these two. In fact, it's just changed to 0.4 across the start-finish line, but they are potentially holding one another up. Confirmation that Donetti is back out. He is settled into 9th position because Bowen Piper came into the pits as well. So Piper, where is he gone? He is dropping down the order too. He is dropped back down to 15th position behind Hurley. Yep.
So he's 3.5 seconds, or 4 seconds behind Hurley.
Yeah, we've got Honeybun, who's only 0.2 behind Presland. Then we've got Nicholson 0.4 behind Tower. So the Pro-Ams certainly keeping the battling alive at the moment, and a lot of positions are going to change when these pit stops iron themselves out. I still think Max Honeybun is in a very, very, very good position here. As he tries to go past Presland, he did on the way into Ad Van Bogen. Never mind, wait until he gets on his way out. The Nissan GTR in a straight line is absolutely mighty, and the Mercedes doing everything he can to hold him off. And you can actually see in the background there just how close Green and Hurley are. Hurley is piling the pressure on Green. Green's still to take his second pit stop. Hurley has taken his second pit stop, so he'll be hoping to complete this overtake as quickly as physically possible, so that he's not being held up by an unpitted driver. The Simmons, I thought he might have come in. I've certainly Struick as well to answer, but no sign of them coming into the pits as yet. Simmons and Struick both looking absolutely solid up at the front of the field, Isaac.
Yes, now get your votes in, folks.
Henderson comes in.
Henderson is in. Get your votes in, folks. I want to close this poll soon because I want to do the same thing for who we think might take out Pro-Am. So get your votes in. Who do you think is coming away with the victory in this race so far? We've had an even amount of people say Matt Simmons and someone else. So if you haven't voted yet in the poll, get your vote in. Who do you think is coming away with the race victory today? Is it Matt Simmons? Is it Josh Struick? Is it Matt Donetti? Or is it somebody else? I don't think Matt Simmons and Josh Struick are, all props to Matt Donetti, but I don't think they're too concerned about Donetti at this stage, given the fact that he was about 10 seconds behind Struick before this stop happened. So unless he's found some miracle serum or he's converted that Audi into a Porsche during the pit stop, then I think they are pretty much safe, barring any major mistakes from the two of them, especially in that pit stop. But he will gain a little bit of time here with the fresh tyre advantage. So he will gain a little bit of ground, but I don't think it'll be enough to make any major difference for them to be super worried. Now this is still going on between Hurley and Green. Presland and Honeybun is still going on as well at the front of this field. Well, I say the front, it's about the mid-pack, really, if nothing else. In the pit lane was Braden Henderson. Toward has also come in the lane. He's just left, and I believe has actually gone a lap down before the leaders have come in. So for now, will be a lap down. Did we get anyone else in the pit lane yet? Guy Farmer is currently transiting the lane. No one else choosing to go for pits just yet. So 40 minutes to go. Both the leaders have passed the pit lane and are on a brand new lap. We are 40 laps into this race, John Wright. And both Matt Simmons, Josh Struick choosing to stay out. Aiden Holton has chosen to stay out. Unfortunate news that the man himself, Adam Elzine, has disconnected from this race. So will not take any further part. So that was super heartbreaking. Got a message from him earlier. I believe it was around the same time that I experienced connection issues. So Adam Elzine has also disconnected and not able to continue on, which is a shame. He was running so well, so strongly at the pointy end of this field. And that is heartbreaking for the young man from Sydney. But nevertheless, he'll be back next round, no doubt, to bounce back and push on. As I say that, Aiden Holton is in the lane for a stop, so he's decided it is well and truly time to get those tyres changed. And Max Honeybun not able to find a way past yet either. This is also Mark Hurley cannot find a way past Rowan Green, which if you think about people like Nathan Hutton, Riley Nicholson, Michael Toward has actually come out well clear of Mark Hurley because he is getting held up here, not able to get past, as is Bowen Piper.
Indeed, yeah, Bowen Piper looking for a move potentially in a Warstein. That is going to be a brave one if he gets that to stick. I tell you what, yeah, that is very close between these two. And as you say, yeah, Green ahead of them. He is running his own race. He has still got a pit stop to take. The two drivers behind will be exceptionally keen to try and get past. That's Wood coming into the pit as well. And the race leaders coming into the pits. That's Simmons coming out. He's been followed in by Struick. So they're pitting on the same lap this time. We saw Struick pit one lap earlier, but this time he's followed Simmons in. So they're now...
Change of position. Bowen Piper, he's passed Mark Hurley. And into the lane goes Rowan Green. So he's held them up long enough and now they've battled. And that is a positional change. So up into what is at the moment 12th place. As Felix Presland also dives into the lane for his final stop of the race. Max Honeybun elects to push on. A little bit of argy-bargy between Hurley and Piper there. So the elbows are out. But that is a positional change. So we talked about how Hurley was not able to find a way past. He was getting held up behind Rowan Green. And now as a result, Bowen Piper has capitalised, found himself with track position. And is up into... Now, what is... I'm trying to work out. We'll have to see where that works out to be once they spit out. But Matt Simmons... Oh! Josh Struick's got him! Josh Struick got him under pits. He's come out in front. That is huge. Josh Struick takes the lead of this race with a considerably quicker stop. He was 3.5 seconds behind. They go 2.9 seconds behind at the line. Somehow he's made up 3 seconds in the stop, come out in front of Matt Simmons. That is massive.
My brain is broken.
Yeah, I agree.
And Presland's got to stop, go 30 seconds for speeding on the way into the pit lane. Silly boy, silly boy. How has Struick done that? I mean, he lost 3 seconds, 2-3 seconds in the first pit stop, and he's just found them all in the second pit stop. That's a worldie of a strategy from Struick to come out in the lead. And yeah, so stint 1, these two were inseparable. Stint 2, they were 3 seconds apart. Stint 3, it is back in the hands. It's Struick who's leading the way for the first time in the race. And Matt Simmons has got to get the foot down, and now he's got to do something that no one else has been able to do, and that's get an overtake done on a Porsche.
That is massive. That is wild. And as a result, I would suggest Josh Ruick is going to pull away here. Matt Simmons won't want to let him go, but he's going to do his best to actually pull away here. Now, I will say, we've made a couple of adjustments to the game audio. We were told it was a little bit quiet. So if you can let us know in the chat how that sounds now, if that's a better balance, if it's too loud, too quiet still, let us know in the chat what you're thinking. But Riley Nicholson has actually inherited the lead of this race due to the fact that Simmons and Struick came into the lane. Riley Nicholson now elects to pit. So he comes in for his final stop. The lead of the race will go back to Josh Struick, and Matt Simmons is going to have to work overtime if he wants to get this spot back. This is massive in the grand scheme of what, not only this race, but the championship as well, because Donetti will sit third on correction. So Nicholson pits. Nathan Hutton will come into the lane as well. So both CP cars are in for their final stop. Let us know in the chat. We've put a poll up now. This is for the Pro-Am victory. Who takes the win? Who wins Pro-Am? Nicholson, Hutton, Toward, or someone else? And if what we just saw in the Pro category is anything to go by, anything can happen after this last pit stop. It's all up in the air.
Yeah, it really is. I'm still betting on Max Honeybun in the Pro-Ams. I'm going to be honest. I voted someone else. I think Honeybun has got the strategy absolutely nailed here. He is going to have a very quick pit stop compared to the rest of the competitors. I think he is just going to do one tyre change on his first stop, and he's going to take a splash of fuel here on the second one. So he's going to save himself an inordinate amount of time in that pit stop, as the two up at the front really do have to. I mean, the two up at the front don't have to do something special. One of them has to do something special, and that is Simmons. He has got to do something to get back past Struick. He has led this race for almost an hour and a half, but it looks like at the moment he is not going to be the first one to cross the line. It is going to be Struick, who has got the strategy absolutely nailed on. I cannot wait to get these drivers in the commentary box and ask what happened through the pit stop. Hopefully they are not too worn out from the 2-hour race and the exertion to actually jump in and say hello. But I would be, I'm fascinated to find out what's going on in the pit stops. We have got 35 minutes. Oh, and that is a mistake by Simmons.
Hasn't cost him a lot of time. It has, look, it's a little bit of time, but not a lot. Jack Silver, g'day Jack. Love to see you in the chat, letting us know the audio is much better now, which is great to see. We appreciate you guys bringing that to our attention in the first place. But look, this is a big ask for Matt Simmons from here. These cars, it's so hard to pass around here, and these cars are so difficult to drive. Matt Donetti is a fair way behind these two. He is, let's see when he crosses the line. He is 22 seconds, and I believe that's because he's repaired damage in the pit lane. Yeah, that car looks in a lot better condition now, so he's actually repaired at that pit stop to make sure that car's in tip-top shape for the final stint. But they're sort of, it's the first two cars are nose to tail, and then Braden Henderson is about 11 seconds in front of Aiden Holton, or 17 seconds behind Matt Donetti, and then 11 seconds in front of Aiden Holton, who's 8 seconds in front of Michael Toward, who's 3 seconds in front of Riley Nicholson. Riley Nicholson has a big ask here for the Pro-Am victory. He has a lot of work to do if he wants to get this Pro-Am victory, because at the moment, Michael Toward is in control. In 6th place overall, he is trying to set himself up here for a Pro-Am victory. We'll have to get the numbers on whether that is, in fact, or not his first Pro-Am victory of the season. Interesting to note as well, Matt Simmons now over a second behind Josh Struick. So Josh Struick has found the turbo button, and he is absolutely pushing on.
He really is. Now that he has been unleashed up at the front of the field, he has stretched that gap to over a second. Absolutely incredible. When you consider his best position up until this point was 3/10 behind the leader. Yeah, and he is now a second ahead of said leader. So that just goes to show you the turnaround. And Simmons as well.
Riley Nicholson!
In that second
Riley Nicholson is off the road! Riley Nicholson has spun. That is huge. Massive damage on the CP Motorsports Aston Martin. That is heartbreaking. He'll stay ahead of his teammate in Nathan Hutton, but there is huge amounts of damage to that car. He did that all on his own as well. So, mistake on his own. I missed that. I was looking at the time, I was looking at my data on my screen, and I looked up to see in the sand trap a CP Motorsports Aston Martin. That is heartbreaking for Riley Nicholson. He was catching Michael Toward at a rate of knots, and I think he just might have pushed a little bit too hard there. And unfortunately, it's brought him undone. Matt Simmons has closed in again to Josh Struick. He's throwing everything he can at him, but he's got half an hour to do something, but it just might be a little bit too late. And I think Josh Struick is in control here, but it's all happening in the last half an hour.
Oh, some kind of technical. No, that's right. Okay, so I have got cars back on my replay. I've managed to kick it hard enough with my steel toe cap boots on. It's actually compliant now. And I can confirm it's out at turn number 3.
Oh.
That's really weird. He just drifted off to the left-hand side when the corner went right.
Super unfortunate.
Very strange incident. Yeah, I'm going to try and get an onboard camera so if I can see if there is anything with his steering wheel that happens there. Let me just rewind this again. Oh, yeah, not. Oh, he's touched the curb on the right-hand side, and the car has just drifted to the left, and he has smashed into the wall just before turn 4. That is an almighty hit there. Yep, so Nicholson, too keen on the curbs, out with turn number 3, and he didn't reach turn number 4. Basically, that is what's going on there. So Nicholson, it's a lot of damage to be carrying to the end, and that puts Hutton and Piper in a very good position to take those podiums. Simmons is closing in on Struick. He's got that to under a second, but Nicholson again. I did say that earlier on, if it wasn't for bad luck, he would have no luck at all in some of these races, and it has come to fruition. In fact, maybe Nicholson should be out there buying lottery tickets, because if he's got this much bad luck in his virtual life, surely he's got some good luck going on in his real life, because it can't be this bad all over. That's just...
Surely, right?
It's such a shame.
It is a massive
Absolutely
shame.
brutal.
Rowan Nicholson, as we were talking through that, Mark Hurley passed Max Honeybun, who's still yet to serve his final pit stop. So he got that overtake done, and Max Honeybun continues on, albeit needs to stop again in this race. He's got a fair gap to Peter Sargent and Rowan Green, though, so a bit of breathing room. This gap is sort of ebbing and flowing now. Matt Simmons, maybe not using too much tyre. This could be strategic from Matt Simmons. I know he's behind him. That's definitely not the strategy part. Bear with me here, folks, as I work my way through this. That's definitely not the strategy part. The strategy part here for Matt Simmons will be just not pushing straight away. Josh Struick, he's going to push as hard as he can to try and pull away. Matt Simmons wants to look after that tyre. He doesn't want the gap to grow too much. He wants to stay in and around a second. He doesn't want it to blow out to well over a second, because then he won't be able to make up anything. But if he can keep it where it is now, he can attack with a few laps to go, provided he has tyre life left.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. I had a massive
there we go.
trying to get that out while I was commentating, and then I tried to move as far away from my mic as possible, folks. Apologies, but that was building for a while. Max Honeybun into the lane, and Les Sandwith also leaving the lane now. So that is all of the mandatory pit stops, except for us, John. I think we need to pull our finger out. We've still got 2 mandatory pit stops we both have to serve, so I think we need to get on that ASAP.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. My glass of water is actually empty, so I could do with a quick 2-second pit stop. And it's no wonder. I need 2 pints of water, 3 pints of water for these races. It's ridiculous. I should start charging extra for wear and tear on my throat. Of course.
My water bottle ran out about 20 minutes ago. I've been operating on no water for the last 20 minutes, and that sneeze certainly hasn't helped. But we the things we do,
absolutely raw dogging it to the end.
The things we do for AGT, isn't that right?
Indeed, indeed. Well, listen, Australia's got talent, and it's in the comedy box, and it is out on the track, that's for sure. Sorry. Terrible use of the AGT there. But
I like it.
It had to be done. Had to be done.
Yeah, someone
exactly.
had to do it. Someone's had to do it.
Somebody, exactly. They had to do it. They had to do it. And is someone going to get an overtake though up at the front? We've got less than 30 minutes left of this race, an hour and a half gone. Season 3, round 5 here for the German Grand Prix. It's Struick, Simmons and Dernetti on the podium. I know shock horror. The real shock is, though, it's Struick that's on the top spot after Simmons has had what we thought was a near flawless race. His second pit stop after me waxing lyrical about how consistent and complete a driver and competitor he is. It's the second pit stop that's thrown him under the bus. He's now got 7/10 of a second and only 28 minutes. Now, 28 minutes sounds like a long time on a racetrack, and it can feel like a long time on a racetrack. But when you're Struick and Simmons battle, oh my goodness me, Simmons, please, please, please. How does he do that on that final curb? Out the NGK chicane, I just,
It's
wow.
cost him 2/10.
That's, yeah, well, there you go. It's a heart-in-mouth moment there for me.
Get your
And
votes.
Struick has just taken the fastest lap.
He has. Struick's taking it off him, so Struick's going fast. These guys are going as fast as each other, though, at the moment, despite Matt Simmons getting a little bit loose there. John, you might be able to shed an insight into exactly what that time is for Josh Struick that he's just done to set the fastest lap of the race. In the meantime, I'll just remind everyone to get your votes in for the Pro-Am. So Matt Simmons was picked to win this race for the pros, for the overall victory, but who's going to take the Pro-Am victory? So far, no one's actually picked Michael Toward, who's actually in the most commanding position, 13 seconds clear of Ryan Nicholson, which is a huge deficit. But that fastest lap, what are they doing out there at the moment? What's the lap times we are seeing, John?
Right, so Simmons, his quickest lap is a 54.440, which he's just done on that last lap. Struick's fastest lap is a 1 minute 54.190. 3/10 quicker, and is that not borderline lap record?
Let me consult my notes as to what the lap record is.
I think it is.
54.1 is the lap record.
Well, he's done a 54.190.
So it's a bit
So
slower.
it's the high end
a
of the
little
one,
bit
but
slower.
a little bit slower, but still, to be doing that in the race with 30 minutes to go, and the thing is, he's only going to get quicker from here because the car's getting lighter.
That is very
You know what I mean?
true.
The car's getting lighter,
Matt
there's less
Simmons
fuel, they're going to
crossed
get
that
quicker.
curb again. Matt Simmons is pushing that curb to the absolute limit at the moment. Wayne Tanner's back in the pit lane for another stop, so that continues on the tale of woe, I think, for Wayne Tanner. Didn't have the week he wanted last week with the unfortunate brake pedal issue, and now is having similar issues this evening, but just not able to capitalise where he wants. Look how close. There's a car off the road there at the final corner. That's the 69 car of Guy Farmer getting out of the way to make sure he's not holding anybody up.
Oh, Simmons has just done a 154.295,
Wow.
so he's just set his personal fastest lap of the race, which is only a 10 slower than Struick's fastest lap, but was actually 3/10 quicker
responding.
than Struick's fastest lap. And not only that, Simmons has just broke his own personal best through the Mercedes arena. He is going faster and faster. I did say lighter car quicker equals quicker. He is all over the back. I'm looking at these deltas, and it is absolutely frightening how much pace Simmons has found through that first sector and how much Struick's lost. Struick has lost 2.5 tenths, whereas
Wow.
Simmons is looking to beat the lap record on this lap. Here we go through the hairpin. He takes another half a second
Well, I actually stand corrected.
out of his
So
own lap time.
at the start of this session, I said that the lap record was a 154.127. It is actually belongs to the man on screen, Matt Simmons. It was set last week in qualifying. It's a 154.005. So he does hold the fastest lap around here. He's on the grass a little bit there, so that'll unsettle the car. That's not what you want if you are pushing on to try and break your own lap record. But the lap record, as it stands at the moment, belongs to this man. He's lost a bit of time there, though, so he's lost 3/10. And I reckon most of that is being on the gravel. But there is a significant amount of, I'll find a little bit of time, then you find a little bit of time. I find a little bit of time. It's ebbing and flowing between these two at the moment. It's back and forth. This is exciting stuff with 23 minutes to go. I don't think we're going to see these two separate by too much at the end.
No, unless there is some kind of divine intervention for one of these drivers. They are following one another right to the end of the track. Again, in through turn number 1, Simmons looking very quick indeed. In fact, he is the quicker of the two through the Mercedes arena. Every time I jump on the Delta, Struick is slightly down through that first arena, and the Simmons is slightly up, although they're both half a tenth of their own personal best lap times in the race so far. So you want to talk about consistency. Through sector 1, both drivers within half a tenth of a second of their quickest lap. That is mind-blowing. After
Massive.
2 hours of racing, to be that consistent is absolutely terrifying for the rest of the field. Terrifying
Very
for the rest of the field. It's no wonder we've got drivers like Matt Donetti, who is, I mean, he might as well be a week and a half down at this point, because he's made little to no impact at all on these 2 drivers ahead of him. They are absolutely running away with it. And Donetti, he is a fair chunk of change down, and he is rapid, folks. If you know anything about AGT, Donetti is quick, he's consistent. It's disgusting, the talent that he's got, and it looks like Simmons and Struick have actually got even more than he does. It's horrifying.
Look, we laugh and we say, Matt Donetti is so far behind, but I think a lot of this comes down to the cars that they're driving, right? Matt Donetti is in an Audi. This car is not the easiest car. This car is as quick as it is because of who's driving it. You look at the 2 drivers that are behind the wheel of it, Matt Donetti, Simon Bishop, 2 of the fastest guys in this series, in this category, on this game. We have been talking about the 2 of them since we started this series all the way back this time last year. They raced around Imola for 90 minutes inseparable. They teamed up this season in an Audi, a car that is not used by many people, and it is a car that is ridiculously or notoriously difficult to drive, ridiculously hard to set up and get right. And yet, week in, week out, these, especially Matt Donetti, but Matt Donetti and Simon Bishop have been at the top of the field without question. They are wringing the neck out of this thing, and the fact that he is 29 seconds off these guys after repairing damage is not a laughable or something that should be considered as bad, because he is driving out of his skin to have this car where it is, and it shows the talent that he has, the talent that Simon Bishop has, and they are driving beautifully this season. And the fact that he is in the equation to win the championship, he still could win the championship, even if Struick does win this race tonight, or even come second, he'll pull away in the points, but it is not over yet for Matt Donetti, and there are tracks coming up where he is really, really strong. Donington next time out, he could get some points back on Struick. This championship is far from over. I expect it to come down to the wire, and they are doing a beautiful job behind the wheel of this car. So I'm very impressed with the fact that it is where it is. I have tried to drive this Audi myself, John, and cannot get anywhere near the times that he can. Look, full digression, I cannot get the times anywhere near he can in any car. But nevertheless, that car is so difficult to drive, and he is doing a beautiful job of it. The Porsche, look, take nothing away from these 2. They are brilliant at what they do, but the Porsche is such a good car to drive around here especially. It is on rails. Matt Donetti, I said this earlier in the broadcast, he was half a second faster in the Porsche than he was in that Audi. So put him in the same machinery, he's right up there with these 2 battling away for this victory.
Well, if he was half a second quicker, that would put his fastest lap time of the race at a 1:54.2, which is right in the mix with these 2. His fastest lap around here so far is a 54.7. I did think about driving the Audi once. Then I apologised to myself, I apologised to Audi, and I jumped back in the Ferrari. The other thing is the card-carrying killer. It's only 1 step removed from the NSX. Now, there's a reason you don't see many Hondas, folks. It's the more leery brother of the Audi, it has to be said. So yeah, the Honda is 1 step removed in case of madness. But yeah, that Audi, she's a temperamental beast, so she is. I believe would be the correct terminology. Quite the car to drive, and Donetti doing an absolutely bang-up job. And as I say, his lap times would be absolutely competitive with the 2 that are ahead, and that would be a phenomenal 3-way battle. Hopefully, we can get them all in the same car next season.
That would be fun.
That's a mouth-watering prospect.
Put them all in the same equal machinery for everyone, and then it's just driver talent. Wouldn't that be something? That would. That would be.
Yes.
I think that would be one of the closest series we've ever had, a one-make series where. But look, then the hardest part is different
No think
cars.
about it. Sorry, I'm going to jump over you there. There's no think about it, Isaac. I mean, we've seen how close it is when they're all in different machinery. You put this lot in the same car. Yeah, we're going to need 5 pints of water per 30 minutes of race. That is that simple. I'm going to go through 19 bottles of honey in my cups of tea to keep the throat in working order. To keep it going. Oh, and I tell you what, up at the front. Struix has made a little bit of a mistake. Simmons has absolutely nailed that exit. There's now only half a second separating them. Struix time is absolutely out the window. We've got 18 minutes left to go. Let me just work my... I love the spectator options here in ACC on console. Struix, 54.1 is fastest. So Struix has done a 55.0. He is way off the pace there, and...
Wow.
Simmons did a 54.4.
Wow, it
Half
is
a
getting
second
close.
difference between the... It's getting close.
Getting close. Here we go. It is 17 minutes remaining in this race. I wanted to go and talk about Michael Tower. We'll come back to that in just a second. We'll follow this for just a minute to see what comes of it. Josh Struix built that out to a second, made a mistake, and Matt Simmons, that's all the invitation he needs to close back up. It is going to come down to the wire between these two. Matt Simmons not close enough on this occasion. Let's quickly talk about this man on screen, Michael Tower. He's new this season, come into the TTR Westside outfit, team more well known to be featuring James Machin and Nick Carter. Nick Carter moving to PC, James Machin also moving to PC, but also doing fly-in, fly-out work, so he's on a roster where he couldn't commit to a full season, so it was a new look team this season for TTR Westside, with himself and Josh Gordon, who's not here tonight. The best result for Michael Tower in class so far this season came in the first race at Japan, when he was second in class. He finished 10th overall in that race. If he finishes where he is now, this is his best result in AGT to date, and his first class victory, and what a place it would be for him to get it. He's currently 13 seconds clear of Riley Nicholson, who's actually being hounded now by his teammate
Simmons.
in Nathan Hutton. Simmons is nice and close. He's lost a lot of time there.
No, he's run wide. He's put four wheels on the gravel. Yeah, he's put four wheels on the gravel, and I think he's just got a slap on the wrist from the in-game stewards, or he's lifted to avoid. Either way, yeah, that was a big drop there. He really, again, it's that penultimate curb on the left. He had four wheels on the gravel there. That will not do, unfortunately, and that has given Struix, we're calling it breathing space. I would be sweating absolute bullets if I had someone within 9/10 of a second of me. Struix is now looking at this like, oh, this just got considerably easier. It didn't, but we kind of get the point. Ooh, track temperature has just dropped 2 degrees.
It has. It has. It's getting cloudy out there.
Wow.
Track temperature has dropped. And I just want to quickly touch on Michael Tower once again and get your thoughts, John, because he's really developed as a driver this season. We've seen him have a couple rough races. We saw him have a couple rough races in Watkins Glen last time out, but he's really bounced back well, hasn't he, today? And looks in absolute command of this Pro-Am field.
He really does, yeah. Settling into a new field of drivers, getting to know the drivers around you, getting to know the tracks, and finding your own rhythm. It can certainly take a bit of time. Tower had a good result on his, as Isaac mentioned, in his opening round. But here today, he has been absolutely dominant. I mean, he is 14 seconds ahead of the rest of his podium competitors, and they're only 2/10 apart. Nicholson and Hutton are 10, as we can see on screen. They're 2/10 apart coming out the final corner, so ridiculously close. Tower, though, with an absolutely solid lead. There's confirmation, 14 seconds. So he has got the quick laps in the class, he's got the consistent laps in the class, he's got both his pit stops absolutely nailed on, and he's kept himself mostly out of trouble as well. We did see a couple of Astons taking a spin early doors, but Tower certainly recovering from any early incidents and really has got the head down, and he's put in some good lap times as well. Let's be under absolutely no illusions. Of course, it's just thrown me under the bus as soon as I've switched over. Let me find the timing for him. I love the way the system works.
It's just so it's so natural and intuitive, isn't it? You can just find everything so easily, which is brilliant. That's exactly what we expect. Now, the leaders of this race, I just want to quickly make mention, they're catching lap traffic here. So they are trying to navigate through lap cars. So they've just gone past, I'm trying to work out who that's, the 22 car of Andre Sheppers. They've got the 308 Ferrari of Daniel Wood in the foreground. Now, the last thing Daniel Wood needs to do is hold up his CP Motorsports teammate. You want to get right out of the way, but dropped it in the dirt. 2 wheels in the dirt for Josh Struix. He's dropped 2 wheels on exit of, I believe that's turn 6 it is. down into 7 at Dunlop. Now, again, they don't want to be held up by Daniel Wood here, and the last thing he wants to do is hold his teammate up, but he also, as a consequence, doesn't need to hold up Matt Simmons. So this is going to be interesting now for these two. The lap traffic is going to start playing a factor towards the back end of this race. 13 minutes to go. What has Matt Simmons got left in the tank? Can he find a way past Josh Struick before the end of this race? What can Riley Nicholson do? Can he defend this second in class from Nathan Hutton, who's all over the back of him? And keep in mind, Bowen Piper is not too far off the back of this group either.
No, he is absolutely not too far back. 2.5 seconds will very quickly disappear around the Nürburgring. That is for absolutely sure. And these two, the two CP cars, still right on top of one another. There's not going to be any team orders here. That is for sure, especially with Nicholson carrying that damage. I mean, how he's managing to hold that. Although, potentially, folks, there is, I know, you'll find this hard to believe, there is a bit of a glitch in this game where cars can come in and get repaired, but it won't actually show until the next time they come into the pits. So I think with Nicholson's lap time, I think he is, despite it looking like the car is damaged, I do think he is running a fresh machine.
He hasn't pitted.
Again, one of the,
I can
the
confirm
many
he has not
graphical
pitted.
clips.
So he hasn't repaired that car.
Of course,
because
he was. This was recent, yeah.
He would have lost position if he did. So he's still running around with that damaged car with the bonnet flapping, but it looks to be still attached for now. If that bonnet comes up, that could provide an issue for him in terms of visibility, but for now it seems to be okay. But it's certainly not helping him from an aerodynamics point of view. Checking in on our leaders as well, who have now found their way past Daniel Wood. There's about a 9/10 gap between the two of them at the moment. So just under a second separates the first two cars with 11 minutes to go. It is nice and close at the front of this field. It's also close for second in class between the two teammates. And there's no team orders here, folks, between Nicholson and Hutton. Nicholson goes a little bit defensive on the exit of Van Bogen down towards the NGK chicane. Across the curbs. Can he get a nice exit here? He does. Keep an eye on Bowen Piper in the background. He's not out of this yet either. Could fancy himself a shot at the Pro-Am podium. He's poised to take the lead of the championship tonight, as it is in terms of, or to maintain the lead, I should say, of the Pro-Am championship. Gain a massive amount on his rivals, because everyone that was close to him on points is either not here or a fair way behind him. So despite only being in 9th and 4th in class, this will be a great result for Bowen Piper's championship if it stays as is. Now, where are our race leaders? They've just come across the line, and there is a bit of an air gap between them. 8/10 to be exact between Matt Simmons and Josh Struick. What does Simmons have left in the tank? Can he respond and throw one last challenge at Josh Struick before this race is over?
Yeah, he's going to need to throw the kitchen sink and then some. I believe the song came in like a wrecking ball springs to mind, because it's going to have to be something along those lines if he is going to get past Struick. Struick has been absolutely stoic in this race. We did question the first pit stop with that gap, but then boy, were those questions firmly answered during that second pit stop when he came out in the lead. He overturned the 2.5-3 second deficit in the pit stop to exit the pit lane in the lead. Absolutely incredible stuff. Simmons would have been hoping that he's maybe not changed tyres or something, and hoping that his tyres are suddenly going to drop off a cliff. That cliff, it doesn't seem to have approached here, so Simmons, he's going to have to work some kind of magic to get past. We've seen how closely matched these two have been. The qualifying shootout last week perfectly highlighted just how closely matched these two drivers are. And I tell you, it's if it wasn't for Braden Henderson, he is the one truly reigning on the CP parade here, because he's got himself ahead of Halton in 4th place. So CP, we're going to see two BCG drivers on the podium, but it is looking like it's going to be Struick who is sitting at the top spot. Although, just as I've said that, he's made a little bit of a mistake. Simmons is close to the gap. It's now within 4/10 of a second. Completely ignored everything I just said, folks. It's absolutely irrelevant. Here comes Simmons.
Simmons, 2 wheels on the grass. He's dropped it in the dirt. They are wringing everything out of these cars with 8 minutes to go. If you aren't, well, if you're not watching, you should be. Tell everyone, get this stream up. We have 8 minutes to go, and there is half a second separating these two cars. After almost 2 hours of racing, there is nothing in it. You cannot script this, folks. There's no safety cars. There's nothing to bunch these drivers back up. This is just pure pace. 2 hours of full throttle racing, and there is nothing separating our two leaders at the end of it. It is absolutely on out there at the moment. Nathan Hutton also yet to find a way past Riley Nicholson. He is making that CP2 Aston Martin as wide as he possibly can, but the lead of this race, it's gonna go down to the wire. I cannot wait to see. I'm slightly annoyed at the fact I don't have water. My throat is going to give up on me before I get to the end of this race, John. I am struggling with the amount of excitement that is coming from the fact that these two are nose to tail right now. my throat is about to say goodbye.
Yeah, go get yourself some water and I will keep us amused. We've got 7.5 minutes, so top up now because we've got interviews to do. So you go
quick.
top up your water and I'll keep the viewers appraised of everything that's going on. And there is everything going on. Nicholson and Hutton still battling away for second and third in the Pro-Am class. Tower just battling with himself now. He's got a 13.5 second gap up at the front of the field, and we'll get Isaac to mute his mic there because he's coming through like he is actually underwater at the moment. 0.6 of a second separating the top two now. 57 laps deep, and there's still only 0.6 separating. There's 3.10 separating them. Struik looks like he's had a bit of a wiggle through Advan Bogan there, and it's now come back the way of Simmons, and Simmons has actually gotten out the final chicane without touching the grass on the other side of the curve, so he's finally getting to grips with the track. That bodes well for the rest of the field. But yes, 4.10s down there, 4.10 separating Nicholson and Hutton as well. And I tell you what, Nicholson is an absolute masterclass he's putting on at the moment, considering how much damage he's got on the front of that car. As we've mentioned, it is not aerodynamically sound. I can assure you there's a lot of wind escaping in places it should not be escaping to and escaping from, but he has still managed to make that Aston Martin wider than a Bentley and keep Nicholson behind him. We've got Simmons still pressing the buttons up at the front of the field though. Struik now 4.10 ahead. I'm just going to check and see what the lap times are like. No, I'm not, because oh yeah, there we go. Oh, well done, thank you very much, ACC. So Struik's last lap there was a 55.2. Simmons was a 55.1. So the tyres are starting to wear and the lap times are starting to drop ever so slightly, despite the cars getting lighter, but they are so close. Welcome back, Isaac. You are right back into the hot seat, and these two are not turning the dial down on the heat any.
No, it is not changing there, John. I apologise. I think you heard my conversation I was having, because my Discord microphone is still being used by my AirPods. However, I am using my proper microphone for commentary, so do not fear. I'm not trying to commentate on my AirPods, folks. Hopefully the quality's coming through okay. But now I have a bit of water. My throat is back to somewhat decent, usable condition, and we can talk about what is happening here. 5 minutes to go. Matt Simmons is throwing everything at our race leader, our championship leader. He wants this victory back. It was a shock. Oh, a brilliant exit for Simmons. Here we go. Side by side in the final corner. They're going to go for it. There's a little bit of a touch-up on the way, but Simmons has got it done. An overtake in the final corner. He got a brilliant drive off the chicane. He's got that done. It's not done yet, though. He wants to come back into Struik down towards turn one now. Heavy under braking. Can he go? He's going to have to go the long way around if he wants it. Matt Simmons parks it on the apex. The switchback is on, but I think for now, Simmons has got that done. A brilliant run through the MGK chicane. A late dive up the inside at the final corner, and he now has the victory inside. He has one hand on the trophy, but Josh Struik is going to throw everything at him. He looks to the outside. He looks back to the inside, down towards turn 4 now. Turn 5, can he make something happen? He thinks about a move up the inside, but no. Matt Simmons is back in command with 4 minutes remaining.
Yes, indeed. I've cheekily jumped to the onboard camera here. I'm sitting watching this from onboard Josh Struik, and I can tell you what, this is an absolute delight to watch. Oh. So close into Dunlop. Look at that. There's nothing between them at all. It's a good thing both of these cars are Porsches, because they're sharing badges. There's going to be imprints of the Porsche badge on the front and back of these cars. through the Schumacher chicane we go once again with a loud wah from the commentator, because that looked like it was going to be two wheels on the grass and game over. Into the tight left-hander before the big run down to Ad Van Bogen. Can Struik pull a counter? Whoa, Struik's almost lost it. Struik's almost lost it on the exit there. He's had to put a lot of steering. He's lost so much time there. In fact, he's now 2 seconds down on his own fastest lap. That's how much time he just lost there. Through the right-hander, trying to correct the car, trying to push, trying to catch up, trying to get the lead back, unable to find a way through. And Simmons, with less than 5 minutes left to go, he's taking the lead of the race. And I tell you what, he's timed that one perfectly, because it looks like he's going to run away with this now. That is incredible stuff from both drivers.
Don't jinx it.
No,
Don, it's not over yet. 6/10 is still the gap. Despite being 2 seconds down on his best time, 6/10 is still the gap between Simmons and Struik. And the fact that there is a car that close in front of him will spur him on. He does not want to go down like this. Matt Donetti, a fair way behind this group now. These two are pushing each other to the absolute limit. They are doing quali laps after quali lap out there at the moment, folks. We have 2 minutes to go. When they cross the line, there will be one more lap. I do not think we're going to get another lap after this one, considering the lap times are 1:54s and we've got 2 minutes to go now. So this is the second last opportunity for Josh Struik to make something happen. This will go down to the final lap, folks. This is super exciting stuff. In the meantime, Nathan Hutton will quickly have a look. Nathan Hutton did get past Rowan Nicholson, and now Bowen Piper's putting Nicholson under pressure.
He is, sorry, I was just grabbing some water there myself as well, because it is all kicking off. Yep, you absolutely. Although I stitched myself up by not actually saying I'm going for the going to grab something. There's a lot of stairs in this house for my age, that's for sure. But yeah, Piper and Nicholson. Oh, and Piper's going to sweep around the outside just as he get back. He's going to take the inside line, and I tell you what, yeah, Nicholson is wisely backed out with that, going for the cutback. Oh, he's going to have the damaged car on the outside, and Piper, yep, gets the job done. So Nicholson done a great defensive job for several laps there, but he's just, it's too much to ask of those tyres and that damage at this stage, and that's him off the podium, unfortunately.
That is off the podium. All right, here we go. The last lap of the race, folks. 2 hours of racing, and it comes down to this. There is a lap car a little bit further up the road. Hopefully he'll get out of the way fairly easily. Mark Hurley, that's 10th. They're going to lap 10th place. That is crazy. For 2 hours, they are going to lap all but the top 9 cars in this race, and 2 of them are themselves. So, one more lap remaining for Matt Simmons. He has to be smooth and consistent here. Josh Struik is going to throw everything at him to try and get this back. But for Matt Simmons, he is really, really keen to make this win number 2 for the season. He won in Japan, and that was a fairly controlled race. This one he's had to work a lot harder for. He led the early stages despite being under immense amounts of pressure from Josh Struik then. Then in the middle stint, he had about a 3-second gap. He had breathing room, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Josh Struik jumped him in the pit stop and came out in the lead, and he's had to fight hard to get this back. It's 1.1 seconds now. Josh Struik has nothing left in the tank to throw at the man in first. He's raced this circuit in real life. He's done laps in a GT3 car around the Nürburgring. I confirmed that earlier in the week with the man himself. He's one of the nicest people you will ever meet, and yet when he gets behind the wheel of a race car, he is an absolute animal. He will not leave anything out on track. It all gets put on the line, and he cannot walk away and say, I have not done my best work here. And he certainly has done his best work today through the NGK chicane for the final time. And Matt Simmons, as he gets to the final corner, is going to round it to take victory, a commanding victory. He had to work hard for it. Josh Struik pushed him all the way to the finish, but Matt Simmons wins at the Nürburgring with Josh Struik in second. What a battle, what a thriller of a race between the two of them. Matt Donetti albeit about 30 seconds behind, is going to come through for third place, and I think he's going to be very happy to see that Matt Simmons was at the top and Josh Struick is the next car up the road from him, because it means he doesn't lose as many championship points to his key rival, and the championship hopes for this man, the reigning champion, stay well and truly alive. With 4 rounds to go in this championship, Matt Zanetti brings it home for third place. And Braden Henderson, what can we say about this man? He has been consistent. He won when we were at the Nordschleife last time here. It's not quite the Nordschleife, but he's still come home in 4th place. He absolutely adores this venue. Braden Henderson for 4th. Aidan Holton rounds out your top 5 in the end. And Michael Toward, he was under pressure from Riley Nicholson, but a mistake from Nicholson meant that he got let off the hook. He has had pretty much a track to himself for the last half an hour. He has not had anyone else around him to worry about. He's driven his own race, and in a commanding fashion, TTR Westside returned to the top step of the podium, albeit in the Pro-Am class, but Michael Toward takes his maiden Pro-Am victory here at the Nürburgring, and $50 coming his way. What a drive from the TTR Westside driver. Nathan Hutton will come home for 2nd in class. He loves this place as well after the last time we were here. Bowen Piper, 3rd in class for Defy Motorsports 2, and Riley Nicholson with a damaged, wounded Aston Martin comes home in P9. And Mark Hurley, the last driver to finish in position number 10, avoided going a lap down, but only just. Our full results, Matt Simmons, 5/10 of a second, half a second back to Josh Struick. Then Matt Zanetti, some 38 seconds behind them. Then it was Braden Henderson, Aidan Holton, Michael Toward, Nathan Hutton, Bowen Piper, Riley Nicholson, Mark Hurley, Daniel Wood, and Peter Sargent. Max Honeybun, Rowan Green, and Xander Stewart inside the top 15 as well. Felix Preslin, Andre Shepherds, Ben Sayers, Les Samwith, Wayne Tanner, Guy Farmer, and then Adam Elzine, unfortunately having that disconnect, and Bruce Quadrell retiring early on this evening. And there are multiple cars doing burnouts on the front straight, but what a finish to that race.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And the best thing is I got to sit here and then watch and listen to Isaac, because that was absolutely mesmerising. 2 hours of racing for the drivers. What my timetables have gone. I got a screenshot though, so we are all good. But yeah, what a race that was. I mean, the battle between these 2 Porsches up at the front, it just does not get any better than that. And that overtake by Simmons, you've got to know when to hold them, and you've got to know when to fold them. And Simmons held on, and he took that overtaking opportunity that was gifted to him by Struick, and he did not look back. An absolute worldie of a battle between these 2 for the entirety of the race. And of course, more importantly, Toward with his maiden win in the Pro-Ams. Absolutely love to see that in the Audi. He's been on the podium at the start of the season, had a rough couple of incidents in a couple of races, but he's come back with a bang here this time, and he's got himself an absolutely solid class win around a difficult track, Isaac. Let's not mess about here. The Nürburgring is not an easy place to navigate, as we have seen today. Some top drivers making some mistakes here and there. And yeah, staying out of trouble is always the best bet, but getting the quick and consistent laps in as well, that just aids your efforts to win your class, and that's exactly what Toward and both him and Simmons have both done today. Another incredible round from AGT. We need to make them all 2 hours long, Isaac.
Oh, mate, 2 hours long. And I'll tell you what, John, we have a 90-minute race coming up at the end of this season, and that is a precursor for what we can expect in the 90-minute race. I am very much keen. Our 90-minute races always end the same way, but I think we need to have a chat to some drivers. So let's start with the man that for the first time ever stands at the top step of the Pro-Am podium, Michael Toward. Mate, congratulations. That was a brilliant drive. It's a long race, but you've come away with a very well-deserved victory.
Oh, thanks very much, mate. That was a very long race and a sweaty race. We were just talking about that, saying we're all just sweating bullets in the race all the way through there.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like it was sweaty work out there, mate. How does it feel? Your first ever victory in the Pro-Am class, and a return to the top step for TTR Westside. It's has to feel pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it did feel really good. I think I was probably the lucky one of the group we were in. So like with Nichols and Piper, and I think Metal was there as well. So I think the four of us there. I had a real bad start, and I got absolutely monstered into turn one. And I was just saying to the guys, I just did my quicker lap than my qualifying top 10 lap in the race there, just trying to catch up with them because I was that angry with myself. And we had a really good battle, and I undercut them into the first pit stop, and I came out 5 seconds in front. So I just had to keep on going and try and stay in front of them.
Yeah, well, you certainly pushed on, and then the mistake from Nichols meant you had the track all to yourself. Now, mate, talk to me about the championship. Obviously, you had a bit of a rough time out last time in Watkins Glen, didn't quite get the points, but you're fourth in the standings at the moment, and you should gain a considerable amount of points back tonight. This should put you in a good position to go after the Pro-Am Championship.
Oh, that's pretty exciting. That's good. Yeah, I think I was third, and then I had a real shocker last race, and I love Watkins Glen too, so it was really a shame. And I had a disconnect on my wheel, and I had to stop and turn it off and on again, and yeah, it was a rough one, but yeah, this one makes up for it. And there's a pretty good bunch of guys there in the Pro-Am, so it's really cool that we're all around the same sort of speeds and racing each other, so it's good fun.
Yeah, it certainly looks
And
like
I don't mind too. We sort of bang each other around a little bit, which I don't mind that at all, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, it's looks like a lot of fun out there. You got you had a teammate in the chat, Josh Gordon, cheering you on as well. Hopefully, we'll see him back for the next round. But for the next round, we are at Donington, so it is a bit of a break now. 3 weeks. I think the 8th of May, Friday the 8th of May, is when we're back. Have you done many laps around Donington? Are you looking forward to getting to there to do our to do the next round?
Actually, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I like that. I like Donington. It's a pretty cool track. It might be interesting seeing how we can get past each other, and we might be bumping each other around to try and get in front of each other.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully not too much.
Not too much, of course.
Not too much, but just a little bit. But no, well, we look forward to seeing you out on track at Donington, mate. And congratulations, very well deserved victory. Enjoy the celebrations tonight.
Much. Thank you. Thanks to you guys. Thanks very much to AGT and all the sponsors, and TTR for looking after me, and G's. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it, mate, and thanks for the shout outs, and we'll hopefully get to talk to you before the season's over.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Tower there, first ever Pro victory, and I think he's pretty happy with that one. We're now going to chat to the man that came third. I'm going to hand over to you, John. I know you love a good chat with this man, Matt Donetti, in his Audi. He wrung the neck out of that thing this evening, but have a chat and we'll get his thoughts on this race.
Indeed, yeah. Good evening, Mark. Congratulations on the podium. I don't know why Isaac dislikes you so much. He constantly makes you talk to me. I'm not sure what it is you've done to offend him and why he won't talk to you. But we'll find out after the broadcast. But no, listen, huge congratulations again. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. What is it you have done to annoy the people of Germany that they just will not let you start a race clean here at the Nürburgring? What is going on with the run of bad luck you've had here, Matt?
Yeah, don't even start me on it. I'm still pretty upset about it because that whole race I carried, I think, 16 seconds of rear damage because of it. So I'm pretty filthy about it. Well, I don't know who it was. I'm not going to hang up whoever it was, but I just saw a car go up the inside. They tagged Geesh, and somehow I'm the one that ends up at the back of the 10 because of it. So I wasn't pretty best pleased about it.
No, and yeah, these things, they definitely, if it makes you feel any better, my first ever competitive race, I was here at the Nürburgring. I qualified in 12th, managed to get tagged on the way into turn 1, completely wiped out the race leader who finished 12th in that race, and he then lost the championship by 2 points. So
it is what it is. It's racing. Like, it is, it's just frustrating. Like, I don't think I had anything for Geesh or Matt. Genuinely, like, they were stupid fast, especially in the last stint. They were doing like low 54s by the end, I think. But it's just frustrating. I think we could have run them pretty close. They both mucked up their pit stops, one each. So there's opportunities there that just didn't come to fruition. And it's one of those things. I get one a season where I have a bad T1, and it's always seems to be this bloody joint.
I know. There's nothing worse than a bad luck where you get a course where it's just, you just cannot seem to get a break. Other than that, though, I mean, it was a pretty solid run back through the field to get yourself back up to third, and then a solid run in the Audi. How did you manage to temper your annoyance in that first stint and get those clean overtakes done? Because certainly a much lesser driver would have become exceptionally frustrated, because you came up against the 4 drivers that were just ahead of you, Henderson in the group, and they were really in a very close battle there. You're carrying damage and trying to keep the temper down a bit. How was that first stint? As far as those overtakes go, sorry.
Yeah, it was okay. I was pretty upset, so I was just sort of throwing moves at people, and if they were going to get in the way, they were going to probably end up wearing the car a bit. So I was just sort of throwing cars in places and hoping people sort of complied, which they did. And then I think the 2 Porsches got into each other as well, so that helped a bit. But yeah, the rest of the race was okay. I think stint 2, I'm not sure if you've missed it or seen it or not. I had a massive lose through the Schumacher S. I just lost the rear of the car and completely spun it. So that forced me to an early stop, and then the tyres and the balance of the car in the third stint were just shocking. So the gap sort of got a bit exaggerated. I just sort of drove around in third because it was a bit of a lonely race from there. But at the end of the day, I mean, a bad night in third isn't really something you can really complain about, I think.
I was going to say, championships have been won on less. If you can have a bad night and still finish on the podium, it does bode well for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're going to shake this one off, and we're going to be back in 3 weeks' time for the next round. Plenty of time to get the head down. How are you feeling ahead of the next round? Donington
What is
Park.
it?
It's one that you enjoy. Donington.
Yeah, we should be okay there, I think. After following the Porsche around here, out of the slow speed stuff, but we're very good in the high speed corners, so we should be okay. It's going to be qualifying. That's the main thing. I can't get this car to qualify well yet. I need to try and just get to work with that and sort it out.
Well, we will certainly be here to see that, and I'm looking forward. I mean, I can't stop looking forward to AGT races. They're just incredible. I'm going to be able to watch this one back as well with my breakfast. It's going to be awesome. But I know, Matt, a tough night at the office, but as you say, you managed to finish third. You brought home a podium, some good championship points, and a good track for the car next time out. So congratulations on this evening's efforts, despite them being hampered. And best of luck for the rest of the season and next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And shout out to Matt. Good to see a BCG car on top. And both those dudes, Josh and Matt, drove stupendously well. So, congrats to both of them, not to take anything away from them.
Yeah, make sure you go back and watch the battle between the two of them for the final race win. I'll have you on the edge of your seat, young man, I can assure you. But we'll let you go, Matt.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat listening to Matt. He was talking me through the whole thing. So,
all right, okay.
So I was on the edge of my seat just listening and watching the gap.
Oh, awesome. Well, the live pictures were incredible. Yeah, we'll let you go, Matt. Let you go and celebrate the podium, or commiserate the turn 1 incident again, and we will hopefully catch you on the podium next time out.
Thanks, gents. Have a good one.
Here we go, Isaac. Matt Donetti, yep. Filthy, as they say in Australia, after getting caught up in a turn 1 incident, but he fought his way back to the podium. But he had no answer for the man that you're about to talk to, for either of the two men that you're about to talk to, even with those mistakes they made in the pit stop. It is the dynamic Porsche duo we've got up next. I think it's going to be Josh Struick we're getting in.
Yeah, it sounds like you're handing me interview duties for the next two. John's going to go and get some water.
I'll take them both or whatever. Yeah. Whichever you want to do. Whichever you want to do.
I was going to say, I'm trying to get some results sorted in the background. So if you wanted to have a chat to the man that's just joined us in the booth while I get some results up, and then we'll both have a chat to Matt Simmons.
That sounds like a plan. Josh, congratulations, or is it congratulations? On that second place there. That was one of the most entertaining races I've watched ever. Absolutely incredible battle between the two of you up at the front. And from what we're hearing, there was a mistake each in the pit stops, which made stints 1 and 3 all the more interesting. How do you see that, or how do you feel after that race? Was it a good second place, or was it a first place lost?
Honestly, I think it was a good second place. Matt was he's been quick last week. He's quick this week. Yeah, he was flying the whole time. I think we were pretty much dead even on pace, to be honest. I don't think one of us was really quicker than the other on raw pace. I think maybe he managed his tyres a bit better in the last stint, and the second stint. And I managed him better in the first, I reckon. But like, it was an incredible race, to be honest. I'm very happy to come second in that one. As much as it is disappointing, it was probably one of the best races I've had in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, as a driver, it's great to win races. It's great to finish on the podium. But I mean, I know myself, one of the thing that we love the most is being engaged in these nose-to-tail battles, lap after lap, corner after corner. And that's something that you and Matt just did there. As I say, for the entirety of stint 1 and stint 3, the little mistakes in the pit stops separating you and bringing you back together. How much did you enjoy that opening and closing stint there with yourself and Matt? I mean, the average gap between the two of you over those two stints was 4.5 tenths of a second. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I think we'll nose to tail the whole time, and just someone make a small mistake, and then the other person make a small mistake, and the gap was staying under a second the whole time, pretty much. And yeah, it just seemed like you had to just. I mean, we couldn't slow down and keep it safe because then the other one would go faster, so we had to go 100% for the whole 2 hours, pretty much. So it was pretty intense. And I think we're both pretty exhausted.
I'd imagine so, yeah. We'll let you out of here pretty soon. Sorry, I'm sitting here picking your brains when all you want to do is have yourself a wee drink and breathe, I'd imagine, after that. What a race. And talk to us about the pit. What was the mistake that you made in the pit stop? Because it really did. Those pit stops, there was a 3-second swing through the two pit stops. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so we both made the same mistake. So I overshot the pit box a bit. And then had to reverse back into the pit box slightly. I think Matt had the same thing in his second pit stop. So I think it evened it out in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no think about it. It absolutely evened itself out. As I say, average gap, 4.5 tenths of a second, is absolutely frightening. We've got Donington Park up next. The Porsche does well around at the Nürburgring. Donington, the Audi might come back into this one here. How are you feeling ahead of Donington? Have you got much experience there?
I don't know if I've ever raced there, so I might have to learn that track. I might have done a couple laps like 10 years ago on like Project Cars 2 or something, but other than that,
okay.
I don't really know the track.
Correctly translates, obviously.
Practice.
Correctly translates, I think. It's the same thing.
Directly translates, of course. Same thing. I mean, it's the same makers, it's the same developers, so you never know. It might actually be. But yeah, Josh, listen, congratulations again. We'll let you go off and get some of those bullets you've been sweating cleaned away. Get yourself a drink and a bit of decompression before we do it all again in 3 weeks. Thank you on behalf of the viewers and the commentators and the broadcasters for the race that yourself and Matt put on. Congratulations on the podium, and really, really seriously looking forward to seeing what you do for the rest of the season, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go then, folks. Josh Struick. Yeah, I mean, he literally could just come bursting in this commentary box and screamed, "Are you not entertained?" And no one would have batted an eyelid. Full gladiatorial style. Are you not entertained? Well, absolutely should be. What a show the Porsches put on up at the front of the field. That was Josh Struick, of course, the man that finished ultimately in second with the fastest lap. That is how close these drivers are.
Ridiculous.
And it is the man with the most consistent laps, clearly, and an absolute killer overtake that's going to join us in the box now, Mr. Matt Simmons.
There he is. We brought him in. So Matt Simmons jumps into the booth to join us in what is his second victory for the season. And I think this is very much the hardest fought victory that I've seen in a fair while for you, Matt. But look, it has to feel pretty good. I'm sure you're absolutely exhausted, but how are you feeling at the end of this one?
I am ecstatic, sweaty, tired. Everything you should be asking to do like that. That was crazy. It was intense. That last stint was one of the coolest stints I've had. And yeah, awesome work from Jeesh. That was just, yeah, it was crazy. I'm a bit tired, as you can see, a bit delirious. So I'll stop now and wait for the next question.
It's yeah, it certainly looks like it was exhausting work out there. That Matt said, and Jeesh continued to shed a bit of light on. There was an error in the pit stops for both yourself and Jeesh. Jeesh in the first pit stop, yourself in the second. Did you expect it to be so close on pit exit? Did you have a little bit of a feeling when you missed your pit box that it was going to be that close, or were you hoping that you'd still get out in front of him?
Yeah, I thought I might have a slight buffer there, and then yeah, I knew it was going to be close. I figured something happened in the first stop to have that gap, which allowed me to actually get quite comfortable and just and kind of get a good read of the balance in the second stint, which helped. And then obviously undid it all in the pit stop, overshot it, had to wait for it to do its thing, and then I just see Jeesh straight out to the thing, and not gonna lie, I was pretty annoyed at myself because at Nürburgring, track position is key. It can be very, very hard to pass here, and we all know how strong Jeesh is, especially as a front runner. So, I really didn't. I thought that was the end for me. So I needed a few laps to kind of cool off and kind of just reset, and then just decided to absolutely send it, as I know Josh did as well. And we were on the limit the whole time, and I knew going into the last sort of 10-15 minutes we weren't going to have any tyres left. So I was really just hoping for a big enough moment that wasn't from me first, but Josh would have it, and enough that I could get a run. And I was able to make the most of that opportunity when it happened through the chicane. I was able to get up the inside, and then decided to collect all the marbles on the inside of the front straight to try and hold on. And then sector one was interesting. So once I got through sector one, I kind of thought I could hold on for the rest of the lap and a half. Especially with the adrenaline and high that I was on. So I was very fortunate it happened with only a couple laps to go, and I was able to hold on and get the win.
Yeah, it looked super close out there. I was going to say, John, it was absolutely frothing that battle, and I'm sure he has absolutely a million questions. So, John, did you have anything you wanted to ask, Matt? Because I think you were more excited about that than I was, and I was the one calling it.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited, because I got to sit there and watch and enjoy you calling it while the action unfolded. Usually I've got to be the one that's on the ball. But no, talk to us about the pit strategies as well, Matt. Was there anything... See, this is another one that I always like to ask. Was there anything that happened in the race that changed when you took your pit stop, i.e. Having someone breathing down your neck, average gap 4.5 tenths of a second? I don't know if I've hammered that home enough, folks, but that was the average gap between them. So did anything about the pit stops, because of course Josh came in a lap or two before you in the first stint, and then the second stint you came in at exactly the same time. He followed you in. So where were you with the pit strategy?
To be honest, the first stint I was a bit surprised by Josh coming in early. He's in the endurance races we've done in the past, he's a bit notorious for going long. So then in the first stint, so he's kind of got lower fuel runs for the next remaining stints, I guess. So I was quite surprised when he came in on the 40-minute mark, and just with how close we obviously were, and only had a couple of tenths lead, I knew if I had stayed out any longer, I would have just given up track position. So I kind of had to come in the next lap later and just hope that I could still hold on to the lead. And obviously I got fortunate with his slower stop. And then really the second stop with Matt, it was just about going bang on the 40-minute mark to go. I didn't really want to go long. I didn't want to go early, and we ended up being the same anyway. So I guess he was thinking the same, because any longer in that last stint obviously would have been terrible with the tyres. So kind of just went back to the 40 minutes, and was kind of hoping if I went on the 40-minute mark and he went a lap longer, then I could hold track position. So I think there was a little bit going on there, but it all didn't matter when I missed my pit box anyway. So, but it just made the last stint interesting, and and that's really what separated us was was both the pit stops, which made it exciting in the end.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, so just to touch back on that, so when were you planning on coming in for your first pit stop? Were you going to stay out for like 45, 50 minutes was your plan originally, or?
No, mine was bang on 40 minutes. I'm
Right.
very vanilla. I wasn't going to overthink it. Just bang on 40 minutes and just do 40, 40, 40. To be honest, but
Right.
yeah, I had to obviously react straight away to Josh going in and just try and see if I could continue to hold on to the lead. He was very, very strong in that first stint. Yeah, it was obviously only a couple of tenths away from me that whole stint and getting stronger towards the back end of it. So so I knew that I had to try and keep holding position, and track position to try and win the race. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll have to ask you about that overtake. I know we've already mentioned it, but just the adrenaline that you must have got because you guys are so close, and as Josh said, both pushing 100% because you can't lift or you can't take it easy because the driver behind or the driver in front is absolutely nailing it as well. So no quarter given, nor asked. You are so close. You're both making the odd little mistake here and there, and then that final overtake, it did look like Josh maybe overcooked it on an exit that you almost destroyed my heart at, by the way, young man. Please, please, please stop exiting the NGK chicane and putting so many tyres on the gravel, please. Thank you. From us elderly gentlemen, it's not good for the heart rate. I was panicking several times. But when Josh made that mistake, what sort of goes through your head? I mean, are you sat there calm as a comb like, yep, I can just nip past here? Or is there the full panic adrenaline dump? He's made a mistake. Oh, look, there's an opening. Try and give us a run through the thought process of what happens with an overtake like that.
Well, firstly, apologies for the panic attacks going through that chicane because I can assure you I was having enough of those through the 2 hours. So I'm glad you're feeling it too. But to be honest, I could see how sketchy it was getting for Josh through there, including myself. So when I was starting to get quite close to him, the aero effect was quite bad through there. So I kind of just kept easing off just slightly into the entrance to focus on the exit, just so if he did make a mistake, I won't say mistake, have a bigger moment, it would allow me to get a good run and not be pushing on the exit. And yeah, so basically when I saw him get quite loose and then I knew what was going to happen, he was going to obviously have to slow down on the exit. I'd fortunately positioned my car quite well through the chicane. And it wasn't cool as a cucumber, I can assure you. It was adrenaline was up. I knew the opportunity had to be taken. And yeah, sometimes it's just split of the moment, second thing, thoughts going in. You just kind of just let it take over and your instincts, and you just see if it all comes together when you get back to getting the pass done, really, which was fortunate to do. I really wanted to try and clear him on the exit of the last corner, which was very, very critical. And yeah, I was able to. It's a matter of millimeters of margin, and there's no margin for error. So I was lucky to pull it off. But big kudos to Josh also for giving the racing room where it was there, and we were able to battle all the way, and yeah, fortunately I was able to make the pass and make it stick. And also big, that race would have been tops with Danetti as well. I know Matt probably talked about his damage that he had, and yeah, he definitely would have been up there as well. So it was awesome to have a race with Josh. Unfortunate for Matt to be in there as well. So well deserved on Matt getting back up to P3. And a big call out to all the lap traffic, the blue flags. Everyone was awesome. They were really, really good, especially towards the back end there where Josh and I were battling. And, sometimes it can be a bit awkward trying to let two cars through, but everyone did a mega job. So well done. And thanks guys for allowing us to have an intense finish to that race.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. Before I let you go, one last question. We've got Donington next week. Matt does seem quite keen, a bit keener on the Audi's performance around there than certainly it was here tonight. How are you looking forward to Donington in 3 weeks' time?
Yeah, that's a fun track. It's really, really good. It's really, really fast. It definitely sits. I've seen the Audi do very, very well there in the past. So definitely look for Matt and if Simon's back, to be right up there. So going to look forward to the battle. You know, everyone, I think it's going to be really, really close there, like it's always been this season. So yeah, we'll just keep trying to keep the podiums going, and if I can get a win out of it as well, that'd be a bonus.
Yeah, nice. Well, I am massively looking forward to that. Any other shout outs you want to do? In fact, yeah, Isaac, I'll say thank you. Isaac can say his cheerios to you, and he can let you do shout outs as well.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, Matt, congratulations. Yeah, as John said, anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thanks to before we do let you go?
Honestly, it's everyone on track tonight. It might sound a bit cheesy, but you know, everyone raced really, really well. I know there was I think there was a moment at turn one, which I saw a few people probably wouldn't think that it ended too well for them, but no, kudos to everyone for doing the big 2 hours on a Friday night. It's really good fun. Obviously, the intensity is there. There was definitely some battles I could see throughout the field too. So just yeah, call out in general for AGT and how well everyone runs. You guys running the stream as well. It's always cool to be able to watch the races back and see you guys calling all the epic moments that are happening. So yeah, in general, just yeah, call out to everyone. Well done, and keen on the rest of the season.
Yeah, love it. Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do as the season does get on, Matt. But enjoy this one. Go and have a very well-deserved rest and celebrate this one because you worked hard for that, and it's very thoroughly deserved, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. I'm definitely going to go relax now. So thanks, everyone.
Brilliant. Matt Simmons there. And what a result. What a race. What a way to finish off a brilliant 2-hour race. Now, well, I handed it off to you, John, to interview Geesh because I went and got some data. And I now have the data here. I wanted to see the race sectors. So this is the sector splits, every driver's fastest sector across all three throughout the race. I can tell you, in Sector 1, Matt Simmons, faster than Josh Struick by 0.05 of a second. Sector 2, Josh Struick faster than Matt Simmons by 0.02 of a second. And Sector 3, Josh Struick faster than Matt Simmons by 0.03 of a second. So there was absolutely nothing separating their best sector times at all. I also had a look, John. The leaderboard, the top 20 fastest laps in the race. So that's just every single valid lap set by every driver across the race. The top 20 valid laps, every single one of them was either Josh Struick or Matt Simmons. Those two were on an absolute charge that race. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I am absolutely not even remotely surprised by that. The fact that they've got the 20 fastest laps, and in fact, I imagine it's even more than that. And yeah, the consistency and how close the two of them were. Clearly, we heard we were denied the battle with Matt. 16 seconds worth of damage he picked up at the start of the race. He certainly could have been the contender in there as well. Still put on a fantastic performance to finish where he did. But certainly, the two up at the top. I've used the word masterclass before. I think now when we need an actual definition of a masterclass, that is how it's done. Those two in the Porsches tonight, quick, consistent, clean, and that one minor pit mistake they made in the pit stop, they both made it. So they are both human. We have proof eternal. They are in fact both human and not AI. So there we go. After that pit stop mistake. But everything else, absolutely flawless. And to do it as well, Isaac, that close to one another. The gap was 4.5 tenths for the majority of the race.
There was nothing in it, wasn't
still
there?
taking the top 20 fastest laps. It's absolutely wild.
Absolutely nothing in it at the end. And we have a little bit of break now, so the drivers get to recover. But in 3 weeks' time, John, Friday, the 8th of May, we're going to Donington for the British Super Sprint. So we've had an adjustment to the calendar, and that will be posted on our Discord in the coming days. But we'll move every round back a date because we moved this date to what would have been the British Super Sprint so that we could accommodate more drivers being available and obviously make sure that we weren't having you up at a ridiculous hour at 2 or 3 a.m. or something so that you were delirious when you were talking about that if that battle was happening. So, look, we moved everything back. We'll go for Friday the 8th of May. A calendar will come out in the Discord, so keep an eye out for that. We'll also try and get it out on our socials. But Look, Donington should provide a lot of action, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to the rest of this season. It is shaping up to be an absolute cracker. Zanetti is determined to find more pace in that Audi, and I have no doubt that he will. Simmons is on a charge and could very well put himself into the championship equation very shortly if he keeps going the way that he's going. Keep in mind, we've still got to get Simmons back in a car. Max Silver will be back in a car very soon as well. The top of this field is getting more and more competitive, John.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It just, the competition, iron sharpens iron. Competition strength breeds challenge. I believe a wise Avenger once said. And yeah, absolutely agree. As you say, the championship is still on a knife edge. The Porsches have been dominant in the first half of the season, certainly, but we've got some tracks coming up where there might be a few chinks in the armour. And if you do have a chink in the armour, Matt Donetti will find it.
Absolutely, he will.
He's the returning champion. He will find it. And it's going to be, buckle up, folks. You're all going to need a 4-point safety harness for your own chairs to watch this.
Absolutely.
That's how exciting it's going to be.
Strap in, get excited. We still have 4 rounds of action coming your way over the next month or so. But for now, we are going to leave it there. We thank you so much for your company tonight. What's been an absolute thriller here at AGT at the Nürburgring. Matt Simmons comes out on top over Josh Struick in a very, very close battle. On behalf of myself and John Wright and everyone here at AGT TV and TrackSpotTV as well, we thank you for tuning in this evening. We will see you in 3 weeks' time for Donington, Friday the 8th of May. We will be there. We cannot wait to see what action unfolds. But for now, stay safe. We'll see you very shortly. Goodbye.